now, right? Like, this is a room filled with war trophies and accoutrements gathered throughout battles throughout your life, and this all comes from, what, a 2-star back in the day? So, I mean, there you go. You got to love the underdogs getting one, man. So, I'm actually probably happier for nobody than Stetson Bennett. Because he proved a ton of people wrong. And if you can't get behind that, I don't know. I can't really help you.
So, look, he was overall, when he was coming out of high school, he was 2,569.
Oh, my
He was the
God.
104th rated quarterback. So 15 different quarterbacks have won a natty since 2005. There's been 7 total 5 stars, 4 total 4 and 3 stars, 11 first-round picks, 4 total number 1 overall picks. The lowest ranked at quarterback before last night was 18th. The lowest ranked player overall before last night was 511. And Stetson Bennett. I wonder if was Flynn 511?
So he is like an extreme outlier. Maybe it was Flynn. I'm not entirely sure. Was Flynn really good coming out of high school? I actually don't know.
I'm just giving him a hard time. Let's see.
And,
no, Matt was 158th overall.
Okay, top 300.
He was ahead of the 9-inch King Joe Burrow.
Top 300, Bo.
Okay.
And LSU
Jacob Coker would have been the answer there. I should have known that.
God. I forgot that Jacob Coker won a natty.
He did.
In LSU football news, another receiver has entered the transfer portal. Alex Adams entering the transfer portal, joining Coy Moore, Deion Smith, Trey Palmer. You still have 8 scholarship wide receivers left. So,
Alex Adams on the sideline of the Texas Bowl pretty much told me he was going to the transfer portal. You could tell, like, not very happy with his playing time. Gloves were off. The shoulder pads were pretty much undone. That's a stacked receiver room, T. It's incredibly tough to be able to get any playing time there. You look at Brian Thomas, you look at Malik Neighbors, you look at Jack Bash. I mean, all those guys are still going to be true sophomores, not to mention Jeray Jenkins, who's kind of going to turn into the leader of that group. You got more guys coming in, so no surprise there.
In some other LSU football news, Jordan Arsamal, they've added to their staff, as Jordan Arsamal is a Thibodaux native, played football at Nichols, and he's been on Virginia's staff for the last few years, or he was for 3 years, from 18 through 20. He was the senior scout over there. He left and had joined like an apparel company and was doing NIL deals and whatnot. He did that for 1 year, but now he is back in scouting and coaching. There seems to be a little buzz around this cat in terms of a kind of a young up-and-coming recruiter. Obviously, he's from Thibodaux, so again, Brian Kelly, he's adding guys that have experience in every single part of the state, right? It's why he's also expected to fill the final coaching spot on the Basic 10 staff with UGA wide receiver coach Cortez Hankton, who's a NOLA native and St. Aug grad. So it's the staff continues to take shape, but Arsamal mainly going to be kind of personnel department, a little more behind the scenes, a little shadow staff.
Yeah, that's what you have to do. You have to make sure that you've got every corner of Louisiana covered because, as we've talked about so many times, look, very unique state. It's a very unique state. It's got a lot of different cultures to it, and you've got to make sure that you have someone that when they walk into these homes of these parents, of these student-athletes, that they can identify with them, that they can have some common ground there to kind of create that relationship. So it's very smart, certainly from a head coach who's trying to kind of figure out the landscape of what's going on in every corner of Louisiana. Obviously, you know, we've talked about, you know, North Louisiana guys and Northeast Louisiana guys going to Alabama, or guys from New Orleans going to wherever. And, you know, outside of Lafayette, I mean, there's been a lot of different places. I mean, even here in Baton Rouge, right? There's been a lot of guys go
Hurts
elsewhere.
every time Christian Harris makes a play.
Yeah.
Which again, I mean, we talked about a ton in the past. To be clear, it's not always to your advantage if you're actually from, like, the city that the college is in, because a lot of cats, they want to experience something different. So, like, going to U-High could be a negative in a lot of instances. But, yeah, I mean, so Coach Kelly, he may not be from Louisiana, but obviously he's putting together a staff that has a ton of Louisiana ties. Boot up, baby. That's right. Tomorrow night, LSU, Florida, in Gainesville, 6 p.m., a really big game here in terms of proving that you can do it on the road, proving that you can handle success. I mean, the pace does not slow down, and now you've proven you can do it at home. You have to, if you're going to win the SEC, if you're going to fight for that title crown, you have to be able to win these road games.
It was almost like that the voters for the top 25 finally said, okay, damn it, you got me. Here, you can have it. That's fine. We realize how good y'all are, and, you know, after the week that y'all have. But you're right. Like, you got to go out there and do it on the road. The environment inside the PMAC for those games against Kentucky and Tennessee, obviously you're going to get some juice from that. And they certainly did. I mean, there were stretches where you could tell they fed off the crowd. So now you got to go do it on the road. You already gone to what Will Wade called the toughest environment in the SEC.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be that challenge, but every road in the SEC is going to be a little bit of a challenge. When you look at the conference, I mean, outside of a couple teams, but even Missouri, a team that we've made fun of so far on this season, they go and they beat an Alabama over the weekend.
Yep.
So there's no easy wins in the SEC this year, or at least it seems like that way.
Well, yeah, and you may look and say, oh, Florida's 0-2 in the SEC. Okay, that's fair, but they have played Alabama and Auburn, and well, both those games ended in double digits. That's a
matchup.
battles.
Yeah, and that's a matchup for LSU that we've seen give the Tigers a little bit of trouble. They still have some of those players from last year's matchup, Castleton being probably the main one there.
Yeah, so what Jake was alluding to there, LSU basketball on the men's side now ranked 12th in the country. Well, on the LSU women's basketball side of the equation, they too are now ranked 12th in the country. Remember, they beat Auburn the other day, 76-48. They have a home game against Mizzou this Thursday in the PMAC, 7 p.m. If you want to go watch Coach Mulkey close and personal. And shout out to Todd Poley, who says the last time that both these teams were ranked in the AP Top 12 in the same week was December 18th, 2006. So it's been 15 years since that accomplishment. And then
you weren't even at LSU yet.
No. I was. That's
I was
true.
a young whippersnapper.
I would have just had labrum surgery, and I was getting ready to wear my arm brace to the Sugar Bowl and watch y'all whoop up on Notre Dame and Brady Quinn.
You still had the Justin Bieber haircut.
Yes, very. I had the Hoover High swoop going on in a big-time way.
Isn't it funny how you identified that haircut with a school? Like,
100%.
Where I'm from, it was the bird swoop.
Is that what they called
the
it?
Bird swoop.
See, but that's because, for me, it was. I remember that show 2 Days.
Yeah.
In high school,
we all played against Hoover in high school.
Oh, did y'all beat him?
No, we lost the last play of the game.
Damn, Rush Pros. What?
Hey, first and goal from the 1. I got an idea. Let's throw the football.
Oh no! What happened?
Not good. Interception.
Like Seahawk style?
Like 18 seconds left, yeah.
Oh, no, and you were the running back?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, it's exactly like the Seahawks.
We'll get them.
So you were beast mode, and y'all tried to throw it into a pick? Oh, man.
Doesn't hurt at all anymore, I promise.
Jeez.
Don't think about that at all.
How do you not give the ball to Hester there? That's absurd. All right, and then final news story of the day. Huge congratulations. All eyes on 3. Kevin Faulk, who we all are fanboys of and dearly love, and who went through just an unimaginable tragedy, losing his daughter earlier this year. Well, he has been elected to the 2022 College Football Hall of Fame. I mean, still to this day, Jake, this man's the SEC's all-time leader in all-purpose yards. He's the school's all-time leading rusher, rushing touchdowns, most 100-yard games. He's got over 6,800 yards all-purpose for his career. He was SEC Freshman of the Year, first-team All-American, 3-time first-team All-SEC. 13 years with the Patriots, Super Bowls. I mean, the dude is a living Louisiana legend.
And we've talked about it so many times. All those things that you just said are completely true. He deserves to be in this. But even, like, if you take all that away and you just look at what he did for LSU, he made it cool to go to LSU again when everybody else was going elsewhere. They were going to Florida State. They were going to Miami. They were going to Texas. They weren't going to LSU. He stayed in state. He made it cool. Not only was he a dynamic player, he's a dynamic personality. And I know for me and probably everybody around our age group, he was the guy. Like you mentioned, like that was the only college football jersey you had. I had 2. I had Eddie Kennison and I had Kevin Faulk.
Yep.
And those were the guys that hooked me in to LSU. And then, you know, what Kevin's done for LSU since his playing days, and just one of the best human beings that you'll ever meet. Like if you met him, you would never know that he was an absolute superstar, just a humble guy. And so I'm glad he's getting this honor. It's, Glenn Dorsey this year. You got Kevin Faulk next year. I think those are 2 of the guys that if you said put some guys on a billboard that just identify and, everything about them says LSU, it would be those 2 guys.
Yeah, I mean, for my childhood, my first LSU football memories are intrinsically tied in to Kevin Faulk and then even Glenn after that. So that's a good call. All right, we've gone very long here. When we get back, we're going to talk all about this natty. There's a ton to get into, so keep it locked right here on Off the Bench, and hopefully we'll have the video up shortly.
Oh, we've been up.
Oh, we're up. No, we are up. But I don't know, are we on YouTube?
Coach.
Oh, look at Jake, dude.
I mean, we're good.
Let's go, bro. You are a little you're a little scientist boy. I mean, that's impressive, bro. I mean, Give it to the meathead and watch him fly.
I couldn't get the camera to work, but we're working on the laptop camera. It's not too bad.
No, hell yeah. Okay, great. Well, cool. We're rocking and rolling. More Natty Talk coming up next.
If you were born to grill, you have to go to Barbecue Guys for all your grilling and outdoor living needs. With the largest selection of top grills and outdoor products and best-in-class customer service, Barbecue Guys has it all. Visit bbqguys.com. That's bbqguys.com. Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
It is the extra mile on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans. 6G. Network.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Tune in to a Tuesday edition of Early Line as we recap the college football playoff final. Plus, we dive into the opening lines for the NFL playoffs, and Rafael Esparza joins the show from Las Vegas. Join us, 2 p.m., 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Sometimes all I think about is you. Late nights in the middle of June. He waves been faking me out. Can't make you happier now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back to Off the Bench, COVID TB edition, as we are both positive, and I am positively having a great time here in Jake Hester's man cave. Some really cool stuff up, and what a better, not a better setting to talk about the end of another wonderful college football season, national championship last night, than surrounded by, so much football stuff in here. Jake, I think that I would start here. I think that last night you clearly saw the two best teams in the entire country, right? Yeah. I thought that last night, that game was hard hitting. Yeah. Man, I mean, there was speed. What is it? Mass and velocity equals power, maybe? I don't know. But the point is, there was a lot of it. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, you set up all this equipment, dude. I thought you were a scientist. Yeah. But either way, there was a lot of that last night. And I mean, bro, I would give credit. I know we're going to talk a lot of Stetson Bennett, Bryce Young today. But I would give credit to the toughness of both of those guys, as it felt like they were getting rocked a lot of this game. And they both continued to play really hard. And the game was so fascinating to me because it kind of felt, definitely at the beginning, it felt like UGA was getting their ass kicked. Yeah. It kind of felt like Alabama was controlling the pace, and UGA was almost like a la LSU 2011. They were kind of barely hanging on, in the margins a little bit, like bending, but then holding them to a field goal attempt. The offense managing to create, not really creating much of anything early on. And where it got surprising is all of a sudden you looked up, and Georgia was leading going into the fourth quarter. And even that must have felt bad for Georgia fans, because that's a position that they've been in all too often against Alabama. And sure enough, fourth quarter starts, turnover, touchdown. Like, it looks like, okay, here it goes. Alabama once again going to break Georgia's heart. They're going to win the game. And that's when everything shifted. And what a credit to this Georgia football team in terms of mental toughness, physical toughness, the ability to stand and weather that early storm, only to then turn it back on Alabama and absolutely whoop their ass in that fourth quarter. I mean, it's a credit to their conditioning. It's a credit to leadership. Yeah. It's a credit to the power rushing game.
Yeah, so everybody will get this reference outside of Hunt Palmer because he's never seen it. It felt like a Rocky movie. Yeah. Like, it really did. Like, you've got Alabama's the big bad villain, and they're just sitting there and they're just punching Rocky. They're just punching him. Just enough, though. Just enough to kind of keep him away. Just punch him. And when they got tired, that's when Rocky went in. I mean, that's what it felt like for Georgia, because Alabama couldn't throw a haymaker. It almost felt like, obviously you want to throw a haymaker, but it felt like they were just kind of filling the game out. And then Georgia just sitting there and they're taking it, but they're not going down. And then they're like, you know what, now it's our time. And then that fourth quarter, all that extra conditioning that you're talking about, that's when they thrived. And they came after Alabama. And Alabama's not used to that. Like, even in this first game against Georgia didn't have that opportunity because it just got out of hand too quick. This game wasn't out of hand. So they were able to impose their will on them in the fourth quarter. And you're right, like, that was a tough physical football game, but Georgia wasn't backing down. Their safeties all night long. I mean, they were trying to just knock the heads off everybody from Alabama. I'm talking even Robinson, who's a big 225, 230-pound back. They were trying to come downhill and hit him with bad intentions. And so that's what they did. They kind of wore Alabama down, and they just, absorbed in the beginning, and then they started to be the aggressor. And if you ask Kirby, like, how do you want this game to play out, I'm almost willing to bet anything I've got that is exactly how he wanted it to play out.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy because, again, for the first three quarters, like, UJ couldn't run the ball. Stetson Bennett couldn't be dynamic, couldn't make a big play. And then all of a sudden in that fourth, Bama couldn't cook the push. Young couldn't make the plays. And everything flipped on its head. And Jake, I think we can both appreciate this. But the power rushing game, it is something where it wears you down over time, right? I always use the analogy of it's like erosion, right? It's like waves beating upon the rocks. Over time, it will smooth out those rocks. It can wear them down all the way to sand, right, from the biggest mountains in the world, right? So you just need time. And so when you're talking about a power rushing attack like Georgia, the question is, can you keep the score close enough so that you can still run the ball when the power rushing game comes into its own in the fourth quarter, right? Can you keep up until it reaches its full form? Yeah. And that's where it's the power rushing game. It's like a stretch runner, right? I mean, they're going to blow up at the end of the race and then win it out of nowhere. And when it starts to hit, it is mentally and physically terrifying for the opponent. And you could feel that out of Alabama. Like there's that one play especially where running back gets held up and then the entire offensive line comes in behind. You even had one of the Georgia linemen straight up just like dive over the top of the pile. And that was the moment where you're like, oh, okay, they broke them.
Yeah.
Like they broke them. Like it's over now. The offensive line will win this battle for the rest of the game.
And you can speak on this better than anybody because you know exactly what that feeling is. I can only speak on it a little bit being the fullback. But when you have that moment, when you realize, like, their will is gone.
Yeah.
Like, you have broken them.
It's the best.
They want to try to stop this, but there's literally nothing they can do. Like, it's a feeling. Like, you know it in that moment. I'm getting chills talking about it because it's the best feeling. Isn't that what Joe Barksdale said when he was on with us a couple of months ago?
Yeah.
It's like that was his best feeling when he knew he broke the will of his opponent. And there is a feeling, and you start running power and counter and zone extra, and you know that they are going to try to stop it, but there's literally nothing they can do. And that's at the point that Alabama defensive line and linebackers at front seven got into last night. You saw White just continue to break off, runs of 19, 15, whatever it was. And then Cook with that 67-yarder, that felt like, okay, they can do whatever they want on the ground right now.
Yeah, and then that was kind of the opening of the floodgates. And then how can you not talk about Stetson Bennett, right?
Yeah.
Because I had it written down here, Jake, where for my, because you're kind of evolving your takes through the game, right? And so one of my takes for the vast majority of the game was that, okay, both offensive lines are losing, especially in pass protection. The aggression of the defense is getting home, but the dynamism of Bryce Young, he is handling it far better than Stetson Bennett. So what I was saying is okay, so while the core problem is not Stetson Bennett, the core problem was the O-line getting beat, Stetson Bennett, I didn't think he was good enough to overcome that core problem. And, man, you got to love when a person proves you wrong. And just look at his journey through this game, how jittery he looked early on. Right? I mean, first drive, fumbles out of nowhere on the big scramble and then gets to delay a game on 3rd and 5, which is just inexcusable. Like where's your head at that point? And then to have the fumble in the second half, where it seems like, okay, right, of course, to start the fourth quarter, everything falls apart. Fumble, Alabama scores. Oh, that's it, man. It's over. And then at that moment, at his lowest moment, to come back and to throw that touchdown to A.D. Mitchell, to throw the next touchdown as well. I mean, I think it was post-fumble. He finished 4-4 for 83 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, how could you not feel good for that guy? And I also thought it was some nice symbolism for Georgia fans, or very representative of how the year has gone, in that Stetson did what he needed to do and then up 8, game on the line. At that point, it's in the defense's hands. And if you lose the game at that point, it ain't on Stetson. Same thing in the SEC championship, right? That was on the defense. It was on the defense to close out that game. They do it. Pick 6. I love the video of Kirby yelling at him to get down, get down, get down before just kind of breaking down in just a manic glee because he got in the end zone.
You should get down.
It was
but
great.
Man, he'll remember that forever.
Yeah.
He'll have that play in the game that absolutely clinched the national championship. So that was kind of fun to see in that moment. I mean, you had people calling for other quarterbacks even in this game, though. Not before the game, because certainly that was happening. Throughout the season, it's happened. I mean, Joel Klatt put on Twitter last night, if JT Daniels can walk, why is he not on the field?
Yeah.
That was his tweet. I mean, that is wild. Think about that. In this game, Stetson Bennett leads you to that point. It's not like he's playing awful. I mean, he's not making a play here or there, and he's had some close calls. But there's people calling for JT Daniels to come in this game. JT Daniels hadn't played in a long time.
I know. I mean, it also makes you question. It's like, okay, Do you have no faith in your coaching staff's ability to judge quarterback play during practice? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't care what you think about Stetson Bennett. If the other guy's not playing, well, there's a reason for that, right? He's got, what is it? He's not outperforming the guy. So whatever, though. But I love it because everybody blames Stetson for every Georgia loss over the last couple of years. He got lambasted for the SEC, which I don't think was really his fault. And now he ends up reigning supreme. And you could see what it meant to him, and it was really nice. I just thought it was like a really nice sports moment. I love this story. So Adonai Mitchell had the big touchdown, one-on-one on the free play. This from Cole Kubelik's tweet. He said Kirby told us A.D. Mitchell kept sending them videos of him running routes in a field by himself during COVID because he wasn't getting recruited. Staff finally decided they liked what they saw, and then J.T. Daniels told Cole that he didn't miss a throwing session this entire offseason. So here's a freshman wide receiver that literally forced his way to UGA and now just caught maybe the biggest touchdown of the game in the national championship. Yeah, and that's a great story. And I remember JT was with us in Media Day. I was with Cole when we were asking him. JT Daniels with the Media Day. That's so weird. That's so weird. Another little branch to this story. He was. And he was really good. He was cool, calm, and collected, was pretty excited about the season. And now Stetson Bennett is one of I remember him telling us that story. And there's there's some storylines certainly in UGA that got him to this point, and none better than Stetson Bennett, but he's definitely not the only one. Think about even the running back room. They got 4 dudes in that running back room, and they might not all stay. I don't know that. But to get that many people to buy in this day and age in college football is very, very difficult. Yeah, and we'll talk more about it, but unfortunately it looks like Georgia's probably going to be good for a really long time. Kirby Smart. Even in the postgame interview, he was like, what did he say? He's like, I hope it doesn't take this long to win the next one. He ain't playing no game. Fire Scona in the Bayou 4 chat makes a really good point. He said, did the Braves unlock the curse of Atlanta sports? Oh, wow. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. At least the Falcons are still garbage. The Hawks aren't as good as they were a year ago, so maybe not. We'll see. He also asked who should play him in the movie. Timothy Chalamet. Yeah, to play Stetson Bennett. Without question. He looks like a great value version. Yes, great value Timothy Chalamet. Yeah. But more athletic for sure. But even probably like the same height at the end of the day. 5'11", or 5'10", king. Shout out to Timothy Chalamet, which a big win. We talked about it last night, me, you, and Rivers texting, but a big win for Chalamet to check in at 5'10", because he has like a 5'6" feeling, so like Rivers said, he might as well be like 6'5" at that point. All right, when we get back here on OTB, more national championship talk. Keep it locked right here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Got a new car for the new year? Come to Corval Toyota in Opelousas to pre-order your next vehicle. It's an easy process, and Toyotas are getting to our lot weekly. Make the decision now. Come on down to Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, reminding you they now have 8 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. And if you're looking for that COVID test for holiday travel, or you have a holiday event coming up, they're the place for you, as well as a flu shot. It's starting to creep up here during flu season, so if you need that shot, make sure you get that. They now have some available through December. You can find more information on their website, patientplusuc.com. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
Bayou Ford has 0% for 60 months on new Ford F-150s. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty. And now 0% for 60 months on Ford F-150s. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Auctioner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
At All Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All Star Toyota today.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli? I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Tuesday's AFR presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Bama, Georgia, we're recapping the national championship game, and Sean Salisbury joins us. 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back Off the Bench, COVID TB edition. We are here live from Jake's Man Cave. Great office, hardwired internet. That's the key, man. That's that good stuff. No dropping out here. Hope you're watching on YouTube. If you are, come say what's up. We're chilling in the chat. You can hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. I don't know if we can do live video production, so I don't know if I want to go too deep into this because I don't know if it's going to hit. But did you see the media meal at the Natty last night?
You showed me when you first got here, and I was a little surprised. I'm not going to lie to you. So, okay, I'll set it up. So, anytime we went to Indy and played the Colts or Combine or whatever, anybody that's ever been to Indy, and it didn't have to be football related, they always go to St. Elmo's. And St. Elmo's is famous for their shrimp cocktail and obviously the cocktail sauce has got some horseradish or whatever in it, and a lot of people love it. Okay, the more and more that I think about it, there couldn't be a more landlocked place
than Indianapolis.
Right? Why are we trusting this? And so when you showed me this picture of what it was, I understand maybe what they were going for, but I'm not touching that.
Yeah, so the meal, and Danny, maybe there's some way that you can pull this up. Okay, we got it right now. So the meal is literally just gigantic plates of room temperature shrimp. They're not even on ice. It's just a gigantic plate of room temperature shrimp that everybody's reaching in and grabbing with their hands. And I'm like, after all, who doesn't think about shrimp when in Indianapolis in January of all times? I mean, look, I don't know, man. But, okay, so my final question on this. Even though I do get it from this point, look, if you're working, cocktail shrimp or socializing are actually great, right? Because I think that's why they work at parties. They're tasty, but they're light. They don't weigh down your belly, so you're not going to get, tired afterwards. So, I'm looking out for everybody working late in the night, but how does one separate themselves? Like I don't know that I've ever eaten any cocktail shrimp and been like, wow, that cocktail shrimp is so much better than the other cocktail shrimp that I just had.
That's very fair.
Feels like the exact same thing.
That's very fair. But if I'm going to have said cocktail shrimp, it's probably going to be somewhere on a coast, or at least a coast that's very, very close within the same state, and not having the shrimp that just kind of have been there for hours.
I mean, not even served on a bed of ice.
Yes, no ice. It's just a platter. This is the worst press box mishap since Ole Miss tried to have I think it was gumbo one year. They tried to have gumbo because obviously LSU was there.
Oh, no.
It was the most odd-looking thing you've ever seen. It was like a mixture of gumbo and etouffee. I don't know if they were trying to troll us, but obviously they had to eat it too. It's one of those situations.
They're like the last minute, like, oh wait, hey dude, we didn't plan any food. Just get 5 piles of shrimp, and then we'll be good to go. Okay, yeah, sure. So shout out to the Indy media staff. It was a fine. It looked like a cool environment. Last night, I know there was some talk of, do you like it being in Indianapolis? Because I know, what is it, Santa Clara a couple of years ago? That was whenever that was pretty lame. It seemed like Indy went off pretty well, though, overall. And, okay, as far as the game itself, kind of final thoughts on the game. Again, I thought that it's a credit to Georgia, their conditioning, the changes that Kirby Smart made in the offseason. I thought that Alabama learned, Jake, that it is hard to beat a good team twice. Yes. And I would be lying if I didn't say that there's a little part of me that takes pleasure, and there's now a group of players that know what it's like to win the SEC championship, beat the national champions, and not actually be national champions. And I would say that I feel badly for those Bama players, but the vast majority of them already got rings anyway, and will probably get more rings. So, screw them, okay? A lot of us will never get that chance again. But
that is a great point.
They learned.
Because they have won, 2 natties without winning the SEC West.
Yeah.
And so for them to kind of be on the other side of it, that there is something to that. And a lot of people were asking me, I'm sure everybody in the chat got it listening on the radio, who you rooting for? Are you going for Alabama because, if Alabama wins, it's just going to be another national championship or whatever? Are you going to go for Georgia because you don't want Alabama to win? It's but if Georgia wins, that might open Pandora's box. I really, I kind of kept going back and forth. And I wasn't really sure who I wanted to win. I was hoping maybe the Superdome lights would go out like it did in the Super Bowl in Indy, and it'd be a situation where neither team could win. But for me, I don't know, man, to see Alabama kind of shell-shocked at the end, it might have been worth it.
No, I'm in the same boat with you, man, because we had the same conversation yesterday on air, and I landed on I'm just a miserable old man, and I'm just mad no matter what. But no, in the end, I found myself naturally rooting for Georgia.
Yeah.
Right, naturally rooting for the Stetson Bennett story.
Right.
Naturally rooting for the Kirby Smart story. And I know that it might be a bit of a faux pas to talk positively about Smart or Georgia thing because they are a threat. Let's be clear. Georgia is now terrifying. They already were terrifying. They're even more terrifying now. Unlike LSU, they're probably going to be way better suited to building off of this.
Still a little bit more distant of a threat, even though they're in the same conference, just because obviously you don't play them all the time, and you wouldn't have to see them until an SEC championship game when you would have most things figured out by then. You kind of are who you are at that point. I mean, certainly Alabama, any West team, That's why we talk about Texas A&M so much. That's
Yeah.
why we talk about other teams in the West, because obviously you play them every single year. Where Georgia, you don't play them every single year. And the way the SEC schedule works, God knows how it's going to play out. Certainly once Texas and Oklahoma kind of come into this deal. And, there's a part of you that, you've had Kirby figured out, right? You've beaten him, the last 2 times that you've played them, and it hasn't been close. And so, part of that probably plays into your brain as well. So, look, if there had to be another power, at least it's not in the West, although, a lot of people think that Texas A&M is going to be that next power. Remember, 1938. They have got to prove it. You can have all the recruiting class that you want to. You only have 22 spots out there. So I'm wondering how that's going to play out. You still got a quarterback battle, all these type of things. And so for me, the more I look at it, if you want a new power, it being in the East is the best case scenario.
Yeah. I guess the only issue is, and this probably doesn't factor for LSU for a couple of years, but Brian Kelly came here for one goal, to win a natty. So eventually you will have to fight through Athens to get there. But we will see. And on A&M, maybe we can explore this a bit later because we got to go to break. But I do wonder too, because how they put this class together, it's so NIL based and everything. I wonder we'll see. We're in a grand, chaotic experiment in college football. I wonder how this class will actually end up working out. Probably awesome, but there's some areas I could see it going awry as well.
Real quick before we go to break, and I'm trying to find who said it in the chat. I can't find it. Oh, it was Edward O. inside the chat. And we know this, but when you say it out loud, it's even more impressive. The last 3 national champs have all come from the SEC, and it's been 3 different teams.
Yeah, man.
So for all my boy Danny Cannells out there that want to say the SEC's this, that, or the other, you can't argue with that.
No. 3 in a row. LSU, Bama, Georgia. There you go. All right, when we get back, we're going to wrap up hour number 1. It's going to be a very short segment, and then we'll kick off hour 2 with another couple long ones. Keep it locked right here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Man, this pillow is so comfortable. Also, there's no leaks in this house. I'm guessing it's because your roof's good to go. And so if you want to make sure that you don't have any leaks in your home, go to Go Roof. That's GEAUXroof.com. There's a few wonderfully distinct advantages when dealing with Go Roof. I think that first and foremost, I love the free professional estimate. So they come out to your home. It's very easy to set up a time. They look at your roof, and they let you know exactly where you stand. So it doesn't cost you anything to learn what's going on and then make a fully informed decision about what you want to do next. And they stand by their work. Of course, everybody's licensed, bond, insured. Come on, this ain't amateur hour. But then they offer a 2-year workmanship guarantee on top of the manufacturer warranty. So you have peace of mind before, during, and after, because the bottom line is they want to work for the community, for you. You'll get a beautiful new roof every single time with Go Roof. So call 927-8300 and hit him with the roof's up. Go Roof.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Assistant, does Demco really send students to Washington, D.C.?
Here's what I found on that. High school juniors can enter the 2022 Demco Essay Contest, and winners will receive an all-expenses-paid trip of a lifetime to Washington, D.C.
5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
I had to pack up all my things. I had to leave my home. And I never knew where I was going next. It felt like I never even had a say. But then you came along.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.
Yo, Jake here from Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, reminding you they now have 8 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. And if you're looking for that COVID test for holiday travel, or you have a holiday event coming up, they're the place for you, as well as a flu shot starting to creep up here during flu season. So if you need that shot, make sure you get that. They now have some available through December. You can find more information on their website, patientplusuc.com. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information.
Tuesday edition of Game Time presented by Bet Rivers, live from Mike Anderson's on Lee, just off of Nicholson, the original Mike Anderson, 6 to 8 p.m. It's Game Time presented by Bet Rivers on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Give me the green light. Give me just one night. I'm ready to go right now. I'm ready to go right now. Let's go.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, Jake, I don't even know if you got to put on those headphones. Unfortunately, we went so long early on that we only got about a minute here, and then we're going to be about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. We'll be going back to break, but again, we'll open it up with some big segments to open up the next hour, some nice longer segments. So we've got OTV mailbag coming up, Kim Mulkey as well. If you're watching online, somebody said they wanted to see the Chargers LSU helmet. We'll check this out. Here it is. It's got the kind of Chargers overlay, but then breaking through the LSU Tigers, just one of many wonderful decorations up in here right now.
Shout out to my guy, Roy Edwards, North Louisiana. Minden shout out. He makes those helmets, or at least has them made. I know he's done like a Bengals LSU for Joe and Jamar. And obviously he can kind of do any combination. So see if I can get his contact out there, because obviously, like, Saints LSU would be pretty cool as well.
Dude, shout out to my guy, Zachary Moe. In the chat, MEAUX. I guess he's the one that 3D printed me the Star Wars chess set, which is absolutely fantastic.
I've never really seen you quite as excited / like in shock as you were on Friday when you opened that up.
I don't think I've ever gotten anything that randomly cool from.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, it was awesome. All right, we got about 10 seconds here. We also we will talk about injury attorneys reaching their final form as Gordon McKern and the big Keishon Butte deal. All this and more coming up.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
And we got Coach Kim Mulkey. So stick around for that. And look, if you need anything orthopedic, if you're having any like knees, hips, ankles, hands, neck, whatever the case may be, why don't you go to my friends over there at Ochsner. Ochsner's the best. Just look at the facilities. The Grove here in Baton Rouge is unreal, as are the facilities in New Orleans. What happens when you combine the top of the line, cutting edge facilities with the best doctors, the best nurses, the best janitorial staff? What it means is that you get the best results. And when it comes to your health and your quality of life, that's what you need, okay? And Ochsner is there to provide that. So if you have any sort of nagging injuries or anything, you've been putting it off for a while, let Ochsner, let them get you right. And it may not be surgery, right? They're always working on non-surgical techniques, physical therapy to get you right. Also, bigger, stronger, faster. Check out Ochsner Performance Training. Go to Ochsner.org.
Ready to bet? Sportsbook betting options right inside.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty, and now 0% for 60 months on Ford F-150s. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Ochsner Health.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
-12681 offices.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. on Tuesday, January 11th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see clear skies with a high of 69. In case you missed hour one of the show, you can now catch that up at the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. Still to come on OTB, LSU women's head basketball coach Kim Mulkey joins the show at 8:30. Nick Underhill of New Orleans.football joins the show at 9 a.m., and we have a new OTB mailbag, so get your questions into the Bayou Ford YouTube chat, and we'll answer them at 8:15. You can follow today's show on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN, or watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, 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 what's going on, y'all? Welcome into COVID TB, hour number 2. And shout out to everyone hanging out in the chat with us right now. If you hit the like button, share it. You know we love having y'all in here. John Gaines saying, hey, wait, I just joined the show. What's going on? Where are y'all? We are in Jake's man cave, as we have both tested positive, so it's cool. We can sit here and do the show together. It actually worked out quite nicely in a lot of ways. It's a wonderful man cave. We are hardwired into the internet, so that is absolutely fantastic. I'm looking at some sweet Broncos jerseys, Chargers jerseys. Okay, dude, there's the old LSU Tulane Pelican Phoenix Rising jersey grouping from that year where, was it Matt Forte? They completely went off for Tulane that game back in 2007.
Him and every defensive player, because Flynn got sacked about 37 times.
Yeah, that was a weird day, a sleepy
It was a
day.
little sleepy day. You're right. But we were so excited to wear those jerseys because we didn't get to wear anything special.
Yeah.
Like, that was the only time we went white, purple, white, and we thought, like, this is utopia. I love LSU's classic uniform. I love that they have a uniform that when you turn on the TV, you know exactly who's playing. But it was fun to wear something a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean, maybe like the last segment of the show, I can like take the camera and just kind of pan the room because
Don't worry, we'll be here all week.
Oh yeah, that's true. There's a lot of cool memorabilia in here, though. Brooks Gomberg, Hester's Man Cave looks like it smells of rich mahogany. It is very classy. Like there's a lot of wires everywhere, but the whole house is pretty classy though. But that's what Katie does, so it makes a lot of sense. Also, I don't know where the hell this chair came from, but these things are awesome. Like, tell me I don't look like a sci-fi ruler in Dune or something right now. Like, I feel like people should be getting on their knees and paying me tribute.
Yeah, well, that's not going to happen here today.
Yeah. Well, I don't know,
maybe you
man.
can talk one of the kids into it.
I was going to say, your kids think I'm pretty cool.
Yeah, Knox might, he might have some, like, Star Wars Dune type situation where you're his Jedi Master. Is that something?
Yeah, no,
Okay,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I mean, look, you've seen A New Hope. You still need to watch Empire. But, yeah, who knows? Like, maybe Wednesday I'll get off, and then me and Knox will just go watch the new Mando or the new Boba Fett episode and break it down together because he knows.
He's probably already watched it, but I'm sure you have as well.
Well, they come out on Wednesday. That's what I'm saying. So it'll come out at
sorry.
4:30 a.m. Wednesday morning. Then maybe me and him can just go pop it on. I like this from Spencer P. saying, "Oh, look, so they're a quarantine." Oh, Spencer, take a bow. That is absolutely.
I'm not gonna lie
fantastic.
though. I as much as I love the studio, shout out G Rush for spending all that money and Flynn Perez, but
It ain't
I don't
bad.
hate doing
It
it
ain't
in
bad.
here today. I mean,
It ain't bad.
Go get some good coffee, not stale coffee. We can just go hang out, go grab some food during the breaks as well.
Hell yeah. No, it's a great setup, man. All right, and it's a lot to talk about today. National championship last night pretty much broke down the game from every angle. And what it means, Jake, is that unfortunately now another year of college football in the books, man. And it seems like it goes so fast. And I know that Louisiana football came to an end on Sunday with the Los Angeles Rams just being absolute bums, which we didn't get to really talk about.
I know.
With you, obviously, because we were separate yesterday, but just an insane NFL Sunday. I mean, I think maybe okay. Let's save the bolts and everything for hour 3 because I do want to get that. But right now,
just a rough Sunday overall for your boy.
Yeah. It was not.
And then
ideal.
So much hope. Like if it would have been quick, like a quick death, it would have been okay. But the Rams 49ers goes like it does. It goes deep into it, and the Rams blow it like they did. And by the way, like Rams and 49ers, I still hate you from the NFC West, and so you only added
Why is it always
to
them?
that.
Why is it always them?
Like,
I mean, the 2011 Niners game, the no call, and now this. It's just, I don't know.
And the Saints, like, to do it the way they did it, to dominate the Falcons, you felt like it was going to happen for them.
Did you see this from ESPN Next Gen Stats? You know the win probability that they do? And this doesn't sound right because we've seen some crazy ones. The Niners, when they punted the ball within their 2 minutes, they had a 0.4% chance of winning that game. That is the lowest probability since they started tracking it. More so than 28-3, more so than the Miami Miracle. Yes. So if his Saints fans didn't have enough of a victim complex, they literally just got the longest odds beat in Next Gen Stats history.
I mean, you saw it 17-0. The Rams are at home. The Rams have something to play for. They're playing for the 2 seed. Jimmy G's got a bum thumb, and you're cashing your ticket. Like, you're cashing your ticket already. And so when the Saints start doing what they had to do, they start pulling away. And Trevor Simeon's out there. T-Dot's, leading you to victory. You're like, okay, here we are. And then, and they got the field goal before halftime. You're like, you're fine. You're good. and then just you look at that score in the top left corner and just kept getting closer and closer, and it just felt inevitable at some point.
Yeah, it was, and yeah. So now Saints fans will just add some some more PTSD to the mix for Saints fans if the no call and the Minnesota Miracle and all that stuff wasn't enough. Now, but that was the NFL, and we'll get to the Bolts and everything too, because that was the craziest thing I've ever seen. But what about college football, man? Another year now in the books, and it again was a very frustrating year from the LSU perspective. But y'all all know my grease analogy, and that you have to go through bad times to fully appreciate the good. And even in years like this, they grow you in some ways. And look, even though it wasn't the best season overall, and LSU finishes with a losing record at 6-7, there were still some fantastic moments. I mean, my favorite moments of the year, obviously the Florida game, but I think probably the Texas A&M game.
Yeah,
to end the year,
question.
the last second touchdown, everything about it. It was wonderful, and it was some of the most fun that I've had watching football this entire football season.
I agree with you. The Florida victory was so special because we thought Florida was good, and we thought LSU was just not going to have a victory like that, and it was Florida. And that always plays, and certainly, from our time at LSU, I think we appreciate that maybe more than even the current team. And so that felt great. That was unexpected. You were a double-digit dog in your own stadium. But I do think that the A&M, because, you fought so hard against Alabama and you failed just short, and you fought hard against Arkansas and you felt like you should have won that game, and you come back and beat UL Monroe, no disrespect to them, but that wasn't going to do anything for you. And so to get that victory when Texas A&M, this was supposed to be the year, they beat Alabama, and you do it in a way where, again, you felt like you let the game slip out of your hands because you kind of controlled it. They come back, they make a couple of plays, and then you're a team that really wasn't set up to be able to go and drive down and score like they did.
No.
And, Texas A&M sends the pressure. You find a way to get the ball off. Credit Max Johnson for hanging in there, and then Jeray Jenkins continues to make big play after big play. He was a Florida, guy as well, making those 2 touchdown catches. So that victory, man, and you can use that in recruiting. You can use that as motivation. Hey, even when we were bad, even when we were 5-6, they came into our stadium and still couldn't beat us, and that would have put A&M in a little bit of a different position. It would have been 3 out of 4 that they would have won against LSU, and even no matter how it played out or no matter the circumstances, it still would have been 3 or 4, and so you were able to kind of stop that as well. So that definitely is going to be the big takeaway. Now, did I think that the guy that threw that touchdown pass would transfer to that school? No, I didn't. We got thoughts on that, but we talked about it.
Odd turn of events that Max would deliver that dagger and then 2 weeks later be tweeting out "gig 'em." But I mean, no, look, you held A&M from a New Year's Six bowl, right? I mean, if they win that game, they probably go to a New Year's Six bowl. Now, I don't know if COVID ends up factoring in, so you got to love that. And for O on the way out, kind of establishing, okay, Jimbo, we finished 2-2 or whatever against each other. But so how about this then? Let's look towards the future because, as we said, it certainly felt like what you witnessed in that Texas Bowl for LSU. It was that analogy we used about the prescribed burning, right? It was time to clear out all the undergrowth and the invasive species and the harmful insects and the dead branches and dead trees that were kind of clogging the forest. You needed to burn so that things can begin anew. Well, the burning is done. The seeds have been planted for the future. The staff continues to come together. We mentioned more Louisiana kind of based hires being added and more coming. And so, very general question, but a huge one. How many years do you think you are away from being on UGA and Alabama's level?
So to get to that level, you do have to set a foundation.
Yeah.
I don't think, even the biggest LSU fan with purple and gold glasses can't assume that can be this next football season. That would be a lot of things kind of coming together. And we've seen it play out before. When you look at like LSU's national championships, like I think that 2001 Sugar Bowl, like it was a foundation builder to what they did in 03. I think in 06 when we won the Sugar Bowl, that was a foundation to what we did in 07. When you look at 19, the Fiesta Bowl in 18 was a foundation for what they did.
Yep.
So it's very hard to go from 6 and 7 to being like that. So I do think a 2-year period would be realistic, and you have a lot of new, and not just a lot of new in the coaching staff, but a lot of new around all of the program. I mean, think about it, a new strength staff, and you're going to have new people in that building. You're going to have new people just with input into the football program. So I think that when you realistically look at it now, you're very fortunate that you're at a place like LSUT where 2 years isn't crazy talk.
Yeah.
Like you can build through the portal this year, which they've done. I mean, they have sent out a ton of offers in the transfer portal. UL receiver just got one yesterday. So they're going to try to build this next year's team through the portal. At least that's what it looks like.
Yeah, and that's what Kelly said during the Texas Bowl. When he said, it's a weird thing where this is going to be a transitional roster. Ideally, you want to do with freshmen, but this will be a transitional roster built upon the transfer portal.
And that's what Michigan State did. And Michigan State played a New Year's Six bowl game. So it can be done. You can have success, but a New Year's Six bowl game would be that foundation that we're talking about.
Absolutely.
Like you get to that point, and then you transition that success into more success and championship success because, that's what you fell short of the last time. Like when you set up that foundation of 18 and 19, then 20 and 21 did not continue that success. And so, that's what you have to watch with UGA. It's like, okay, Kirby's been set up for this moment. Now that they had this moment, how did they handle that success? Because that's what Nick Saban does better than anyone. He handles the success, the problems that come with winning. And yes, a lot of problems come with winning, believe it or not. How do you handle that? So for me, if you got to a situation like a Michigan State did, if you got into a Sugar Bowl like Ole Miss did this year, and you kind of had that same path, that would be considered a very successful season.
Yeah, I agree. 9-3. I mean, it always feels like that's kind of an acceptable bar, but maybe here in year one, that's where my kind of head would be at. And yeah, I think, look, when you look back on the Orgeron era, you're absolutely right about the problems that come with success. I mean, it seems outside looking in like the thing that went awry is that, here you had a group that they had finally accomplished their life goals, like the one thing you have been working towards your entire life. What would a lot of us do if we suddenly got the one thing we've been working for our entire life? Do you have that almost sociopathic ability that Nick Saban has to remain hungry and focused and not rest on your laurels and not think you're going to be able to just kind of run it back and do it again? Because I feel that's a bit of the trap that LSU fell into. And what it led to, Jake, is it's shocking, man. It's almost cliched. You hear about reputation and culture, and it's like it takes a lifetime to build up, but you can tear it down instantly.
Right.
I mean, LSU had a great culture, and it deteriorated shockingly fast. And I mean, I would just point to all the academic ineligibility as a sign of a culture that had really started to just completely fall apart. Like we said, when you zoom in, it's on those individual players, but when you zoom out, a good culture doesn't allow that many players to kind of shirk their responsibility. So it was great. It's fallen apart. First and foremost, you mentioned foundation. Yes, Brian Kelly has to build the culture back. And if you look at Alabama and Georgia, that is one thing that I think they obviously really excel on. Not even not just now. And you could all say, well, and they have all 5 stars. So yes, that helps. But how do you attract those guys? Right. How do you get those big personality types to buy in and accept their role, right? Like who's Alabama's running back last night that didn't start till game 40 or something like that, and he was a big time. You're like, how do you do those things through culture? And so we will see just how quickly Brian Kelly can do that.
So it can be done too without having this championship. And LSU's got one just in 2019. But even before this year, because I know NIL had something to do with it, like Texas A&M was finishing in the top 5 in recruiting There's no championships anywhere close. Hell, there's no conference championships anywhere close for Texas A&M. It's been 30 years almost since they've won a conference championship. So, like, Georgia, same way. Like, it had been since 1980, but they built that, right? They were getting the recruits, and they were doing the things, and they were building facilities, and they created a culture. So it can be done without winning a championship the year before. And LSU's got the second most to Alabama the last 22 years. Like, we talked about that a lot. So that can be built. You don't have to win a championship before that takes place. But you have to create something that is desirable for recruits. You have to have a good sales pitch. You also, like you mentioned, you have to get the right people to stay. That's one of the things LSU, no matter who the coach has been, they struggle with. Because it used to be guys going pro early that had really no draftable grade. Like, that always confused me. LSU, I felt like, lost more players to that.
I mean, guys
than
leaving to be
anybody else.
UDFAs at times.
It's unbelievable how many guys we could point to. Now, some of them still made an NFL career, so congratulations to them. But, like, you didn't see that other places. And, now LSU's definitely been hit with the same thing. They've been hit with that, and they've been hit with, guys like Eli Ricks transferring. And you have to – and I'm not even talking – like, Ricks might have transferred regardless. It just felt like he was never bought in. But you have to make sure that you have some of those redshirt juniors that have played a little bit, but they haven't been starters. But you've done whatever you can to keep them satisfied where they still want to be on the roster. And it might be sounding like I'm talking about babysitting, but look, college football's changed. You have to do some of that. You have to make it desirable for those guys that aren't starting, because otherwise – you'll just be left at the altar for a lot of these guys, when Alabama and Georgia have actually done a nice job of that.
Yeah, to me, that is all culture. And I would point to something that I feel like I very much saw firsthand. After 2011, that 2011 National Championship was the death knell for Coach Miles, the Miles era of LSU football, right? Granted, it took a couple years, but that's when you saw the mass exodus of players. The culture literally got broken by that game. It's one of the reasons why I'm so impressed with Kirby. 2018 should have, or maybe could have, broken their culture. Now, it was earlier on, but to be that close and to lose in the manner that you did, that's something that you never get over. Like, they can break your spirit. And he managed to keep guys locked in. And so I hope in Brian Kelly that you have someone that you just, quite frankly, have not had for the past 20 years, that maybe you have someone that can kind of keep together that more cohesive and tougher and stronger culture through some of those ultimate bad times.
Well, I know we have to take a break, but it is the thing that whenever the announcement was made, whenever you start to do a deep dive into the resume, the thing about Brian Kelly's resume that did impress me the most was after they had failure at Notre Dame. It was only one season. After the failure was the 5 double-digit win seasons in a row.
Yep.
That was the most impressive thing, because when you have that failure at a place like Notre Dame, there's only one way you can go if you want to continue to be the coach. So the pressure was there, and they roll off 5 straight double-digit victories. They have some of their best teams. They get into a CFP. This year they were right on the verge. They were number 5. I mean, they were, one spot away. One thing had to happen on championship Saturday that if it happened, Notre Dame's back in that spot. Now, I know he was already the coach at LSU, but they would have had another CFP team. So for me, that was the biggest thing, because it's not going to go easy. It's not going to go perfect. There's going to be things that pop up and happen, but seeing how he took that negative year at Notre Dame with the pressure of Notre Dame and parlayed that into what they did 5 straight seasons, that was the most encouraging thing for me.
Yeah, I agree. All right, when we get back, we'll do a quick OTB mailbag. Then we got Coach Mulkey coming up in about 11 minutes here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Go to All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com, or you can go see them. They're on Airline Highway. Very easy to get to. All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge. Let's say let's say you just need a new vehicle, right? But you don't exactly know what you want. Well, whether you're looking to buy new, do you want Toyota certified used vehicles, or you still get warranty coverage with Toyota Care, whatnot, or no matter what type, right? You want a sedan, you want a big truck, you want a minivan. It's all there for you at All-Star Toyota. The 2022s, you hear some great deals going down. Go to All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
Yeah, I told y'all they helped me out when I was going to Houston for the bowl game. It was incredibly easy to rent a Toyota. All I did was I called them. I told them where I was going, what I needed, and it was waiting on me when I got there. Per day pricing. You're not going to find it better anywhere else. And the full fleet is available. Truck, midsize, full-size SUVs, sedan, hybrid, whatever it is, they've got you. Check it out on the homepage, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Previous hails.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I had to pack up all my things. I had to leave my home. And I never knew where I was going next. It felt like I never even had a say. But then you came along.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.
Before we begin any electrical work here, we perform a home safety check that begins at your electrical panel to make sure that you and your family are safe. For all your upgrades, installations, and repairs, call Mr. Electric.
I've got that blue sky. I've got that sunshine.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Join us for a Tuesday edition of Hunt and Hill. We'll recap the national title game, a little LSU basketball, and we'll look back at the Saints season that was. Hunt and Hill, noon to 2 weekdays on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What up, y'all? Welcome back to Off the Bench. Look, we're going to be about 5 minutes here, then we're going to get to Coach Mulkey coming up. If you're watching on YouTube right now, thank you. Hit the like button, all that kind of stuff. This is the old 1918 helmet that we have here, that beautiful kind of two-tone color scheme that kind of changes colors to different angles from the legendary photo shoot, Jake, in which you, as a mid-30s adult, got to model the silent season uniform tributes.
Yeah, when they talked to me about doing that, I'm like, yeah, absolutely, yeah, I'll do it. I was not really thinking like how much that would be out there, how much they were going to use that footage. But you know what? Outside of some hairy armness that was pointed out, I mean, I would do it again.
Yeah, I feel like you acquitted yourself well.
I was 34 at the time, and
was that 3 years ago now?
Yeah.
Well, that's a little heavy. That's weird to think about.
But
yeah,
I did get to keep.
It was 2 years before he'd ever even heard of COVID.
Let's see. I did get to keep the sweet lid, and I got a jersey for it too. I gotta hang that in here, and like, not that there's not already enough stuff in here, but if you have an office, like, you might as well
Hell yeah,
use
dude.
every part of it. Right?
I have so much nerd accoutrement, detritus, just kind of sitting in boxes for my years of buying art at Comic-Con and everything that I can't put up yet until I get a man cave one of these days.
So of all this sweet stuff in here, I can say, like, people always come in here and they ask me, okay, what's your favorite thing? And it's not fully like done yet because I'm always working in here. But I think being in the Everton program up there at the top right there, T, I think that's probably for
dude.
me, like
Okay.
being an Everton fan and finding my way, weaseling my way into their game day program. They did a story about an American football player loving English
That's pretty
football.
sick.
That's definitely my favorite. That's why it's high up there, so the boys can't touch that.
I prefer Kings for a Day, where it looks like you've done some sort of sexy male modeling here. Maybe we'll put that up.
Oh gosh, so that was ESPN the magazine, and they used to do it where it wasn't like the top prospects, but they would try to find guys that they felt like were going to have like an NFL career, but maybe they weren't like the spotlight guys, but they wanted to do a feature on them. So of that group, Antoine Cason, my Chargers teammate, they took him in the first round, me in the third. Dexter Jackson was another App State guy. Jordan Dizon, I believe, was the guy in the middle, Colorado linebacker, second-round pick. But didn't last very long in the NFL. He had a lot of injuries.
Hey, okay, so yesterday some of the big news on the LSU front had to do with Gordon McKernan. As this had been rumored, but it was finally officially announced that Gordon McKernan is the one who basically stepped in, and I'm sure we'll get details soon on what the actual numbers are, but he struck an NIL deal with Kayshon Boutte to help him remain here. And then he went on AFR yesterday, and he was basically saying, look, trying to rally the business community around keeping these guys. And let me just say this. This is what the injury attorneys have been waiting for. If you think that the battles for billboards and buses, if you've thought that was intense, the battles of the NIL deals will shake the foundations of Louisiana. Like, I think this is where we're going to see these injury attorneys finally reach their final form, because I don't know that there's ever been a more kind of fan-friendly way of advertising. And you're double dipping because you're literally paying the player to advertise for your company, but then on a meta level, we are talking about the fact that you're paying the players who are bringing attention to it. So it's like, it's advertising built into advertising, but it actually makes, but people care because it translates to success on the football field, and you actually need this to happen because you need groups to try and combat the oil money of A&M and the full buy-in of the entire state of Alabama. I mean, what a fascinating time that we live in. And, yeah, of course, Gordon kind of stepping through that door first.
And what's wild about it, another kind of aspect of it is there's like official injury attorneys of LSU athletics, which I think is Dudley and DeBosier. And this is a way like for other injury attorneys to kind of, step into that as well. If you have the star players, like that's another aspect of it as well.
Yeah, so I'm so fascinated to see where this all goes. We will know over time, but this is just the first of what I expect to be many deals that are announced. And who knows, maybe here in a little bit, some of these, maybe like Kayla Pointer starts to get some deals or something because she has been fantastic. Let's talk to LSU women's head basketball coach Kim Mulkey next here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to Donaldson Glass and Body, DonaldsonGlassandBody.com, DGBAuto.com, DGBAuto.com. They're trying to. That's a site they want you to use, DGBAuto.com. And look, you already know, if you get in an accident, police can't tell you who to tow. Insurance company can't tell you where to go. They cannot. You tell them you want to go to Donaldson Glass and Body. And the reasons are, look, man, they are, well, the quality of the work is second to none. Best body shop in the state. But more so than that, you can trust Donaldson Glass and Body, and that they're going to get you back on the road safely and with just what you need, right? They're not going to create charges to make you pay more money or any BS like that. So for any of your car needs, go to dgbauto.com.
Now, they're certainly not going to do that. They're going to be transparent throughout the entire process. I can tell you that with confidence because that's what they were for me. And this was even before I was doing spots for them, because that's just who they are over at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Check out the full list of services, dgbauto.com, dgbauto.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
How do you... At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Tune in to a Tuesday edition of Early Line as we recap the college football playoff final. Plus, we dive into the opening lines for the NFL playoffs, and Rafael Esparza joins the show from Las Vegas. Join us, 2 p.m., 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Esther and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Welcome back to Off the Bench here on 104.5, 100.3, 94.7 ESPN. You're listening up in Shreveport in the afternoon. Hello from the past. I hope the future is great. I'm sure it is, especially if you're an LSU women's basketball fan, because the future looks very bright. The present is great. And what a response by this LSU women's team. They battle South Carolina with everything they have down to the end of that game. They end up falling just short. And it would have been real easy to maybe lose a bit of focus. Well, what did? They come back and they beat Auburn 76-48. Every Tuesday we talk to Coach Kim Mulkey, the Hall of Fame coach of the LSU women's basketball team. Coach Mulkey, what is going on? Thank you so much for joining us here on this Tuesday morning.
Good morning, guys. How's everybody?
We're doing well, Coach. And before we get into the team specifically, I want to kind of pick your brain about some kind of larger coaching questions, because last night on the football field, you saw Nick Saban versus Kirby Smart, right? Two legends that have built a championship culture. We're kind of asking, well, how does LSU look to do that? And when I look at your past, you're in that same boat as those legends, a legend in your own right. You have built championship culture wherever you've been. How do you kind of view that process? Like, what do you do in order to try and get the team and the program where you want it to be?
Well, recruiting is the lifeblood of everything, and I think you must have assistants that'll recruit. Then I think you got to have discipline, you got to have accountability, and you got to change with the time. I think one of the things that I respect about Saban years ago, everybody said, oh, his style of play, and now the boy, he's throwing the ball. You don't hear that anymore.
Yeah.
I just think the two things in anything is you got to have a defense that you hold kids accountable on that field, on that court, that we're going to guard you. We're going to defend. I don't know if I can ever get a passing quarterback. I don't know what I can do at the skill positions, but we're going to try to change with the times, and I think Saban has done that. You guys know injuries affect everything. He lost those wide receivers, and that's a helpless deal. But in this game, you don't make excuses and you don't apologize. That's part of it.
And, Coach, another aspect of like that championship mentality and building the culture and having that foundation, obviously, like his facilities. I think facilities play a big part in recruiting like you're talking about. I know a lot's been said maybe of the PMAC and some of the things that, Coach Will Wade's talked about wanting to see. So for you coming into this situation, obviously kind of learning the building and seeing you have two top 15 basketball teams, men's and women's, what are some of the things that you would like to see maybe done to the PMAC or some of the facilities? That way you can recruit at that elite level and have the facilities to do so.
You are right on, brother. I'd love to see the men's and women's basketball offices inside the PMAC. I've never worked anywhere where I couldn't jump up from my desk and walk down to a court and show a recruit or show a current player something on the court. You can't do that at LSU. This high-rise stuff that we're in, they tell me Joe Dean created that building. And right now, honestly, I'm renovating the second floor where my offices are going to be. But, yes, I'd love to see our offices over there. The second thing I would personally love to see over there is the men's and women's weight room over there. We need a weight room inside the facility. Those are my two goals. I'm sure they're Will's two goals. I'm sure they were the goals of coaches before us. We do need better facilities in order to compete with the Jimmies and the Joes in this business. I totally agree with you.
Well, and Coach, I would say that there's something special going on in the PMAC right now, and that y'all are making your case on the court for really being given carte blanche on what you want to see done, because right now both the men and women's team both ranked 12th in the AP polls. It's the first time that's happened since 2006. But rankings are they're a great metric to kind of outside looking in to view how things are going. But what I want to ask you about is what did you learn about your team responding from the South Carolina loss, which was, like I said, tough, hard fought, so close, and then not really missing a beat, not staying down, but coming back and just absolutely dismantling an Auburn team, nearly doubling them up 76-48.
I knew it was coming from the shoot-around that morning. We had a 9 o'clock shoot-around for a 4 o'clock game, and sweat was pouring off their faces. And I just thought to myself, these kids are on a mission. And it showed in the game. And it was a very, as I told them, this was a very big game, and I made them understand why. You're looking at giving your heart in a game at home, and we lost.
Yeah.
So everybody's looking to see how you respond. The second reason is, guys, Auburn took Missouri to overtime on their court the previous game, and we all know Missouri beat South Carolina. So Missouri's our next opponent, and they scare me. And because of what they did against South Carolina, they did it without their best player, and yet I look at a common opponent. Who has Missouri played that we've played? And they've played Missouri State, and Missouri State beats Missouri 28. So I'm confused.
Damn.
I'm nervous. I'm a little bit of all of the above.
Yeah.
I just know that we can only concern ourselves with preparation. And today's a big day for us. We have a 12 o'clock fast break luncheon at the Crown Plaza. It's going to be packed in there. I'm taking the team. And the team will be on stage and have lots of questions sent to them. We'll get to the practice floor at 2 o'clock. And then tonight, of course, the PJ Ribbs radio show. But the main thing I want to tell you is these kids, they're focused. And I tell them from this point on, if you get beat, and I'm sure there'll be games where we possibly will, you make sure you walk off that floor and say those guys had to bring their A game.
All right, Coach, kind of previewing Mizzou since you just spoke about them. A quick glance at them. They're 7th in the country in field goal percentage. They're 11th in the country in three-point percentage, and so obviously that's their strength. Don't rebound the basketball as well as y'all do, obviously. They're 164th in the country. So kind of give us a quick preview of what you've seen so far in your film study of Mizzou.
Three ball. You better guard the three ball.
Yep.
They make 7 a game. Now, they're a little bit different than Florida Gulf Coast. They're very similar to Iowa State. The big thing they do that neither of those teams do well is they rebound the ball. They have athletic post players. And it's a very difficult matchup, again, for our bigs because they have post players that bring you outside and shoot the three ball. So we're going to have to really, really work on matchups and who's guarding people when you have different lineup for us in the game.
Well, and Coach, I want to ask you, and this is even a bit down the road, maybe a potential rematch South Carolina or somebody who has the bigs like a South Carolina does, but you saw a market the Florida Gulf Coast game, a very three-point heavy team. You called it early on, right? We were never ready for that. You ended up losing the game. But then it was either A&M or Georgia, who's also a lead from three, a high-volume three-point team, and y'all handled them. What sort of adjustments do you think that you would make in the future? Or how do you get your team ready for maybe a potential rematch against South Carolina or a team, like I said, is more oriented just through the bigs?
Well, a lot of things. You know, as a coach, you take the burden upon yourself after the game on what should I have done differently on how to guard them. And there's some things, if we get another shot at them, there are things that I would do to help a little bit more on the big girl, Boston. But, you know, they didn't have Cordera in our game. She was out, the 6'7" kid. And I just think, well, if they would have had her, it would have been a blowout. No, if we would have had her, it might have been a little bit different. They had her with Missouri, and Missouri did some things to them defensively that if we play them again, that I would look at and give them tremendous help from our guards and make South Carolina beat us from the outside a little more. With Florida Gulf Coast, we gave up too many twos. We gave up too many layups. Second game of the year, the players are trying to do what I asked them to do, and I didn't defensively guard them the way I would again if we played them.
Yeah, and then like I said, it was A&M that's so high volume threes, and y'all handled that excellently. Coach, a lot of people have been wanting me to ask you what you thought about Coach Staley's comments after the game, as she was talking about level of support and maybe Nikki would still be here. Do you have any thoughts on what she had to say after the game?
I wish I knew what her reasoning was or what she was trying to explain. I did hear it, obviously. I wish the reporters would have made her explain a little better. I don't think the reporters did enough follow-up to make her explain just exactly what she was doing. If you're asking me what I thought she was doing, I thought she was defending a friend in Nikki, which we all tend to do, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's fine. But then in the next breath, I think she failed to just say, wow, what a tremendous atmosphere for the SEC women's basketball and for her team, which I complimented our crowd and said a lot of them came to see her team play. She has the number one team in the country that should win it all. I just wish that there would have been more follow-up questioning and maybe from her perspective, defend your friend, that's great, but just say kudos to the crowd tonight.
Yeah, and the crowd was fantastic, and it's going to need to be fantastic again tomorrow night in the PMAC, 7 p.m. against Mizzou. Go out, pack it out. Let's go. Coach Mulkey's got them girls kicking ass, 12th in the country right now. Coach, thank you so much.
Hey, guys, have a great one. See ya.
Thanks, Coach.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for coming on, Coach Mulkey. Always just so awesome. There also, Coach Mulkey taking the high road with the Staley question. I know a lot of y'all wanted to ask that. So
look, I mean, she's one of the goats of women's hoops. I mean, she's in like the Mount Rushmore territory. So
yeah,
like this probably isn't the first time she's had to answer a question like that, and she doesn't, to me, come off as someone who even cares about what was said. She just wants to go out there and whip everybody's ass.
So yeah, dude.
Man, I'm excited, man. Like I've told y'all many, many times, women's hoops when I was in school, it was thriving, and it's thriving again. And I feel like it can go to even a higher level than it was then.
All right, when we get back here on OTB, closing on hour number 2, we got Nick Underhill kicking off hour 3. Get Jake's thoughts on the NFL weekend that was, and we will get to OTB mailbag in hour 3 as well. Keep it locked right here, Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to Rejuve Me Medical, RejuveMeMedical.com. Restore Me, Refuel Me, Rejuve Me. If you want to feel like your younger self, once again, maybe you're aging. I don't care if you're like 20, 30, 40, 50, okay? Aging is a process. We all age at different rates. The bottom line is that Rejuve Me is going to draw your labs. You're going to meet with a lifestyle specialist, and they will create a comprehensive custom plan for you and how you can feel better. So you want that energy back, Jake, sex drive, all that stuff, go to RejuveMeMedical.com.
You got to get that consultation set up, and you can do it right there on the site because all the things T-Bob's talking about, well, it's the truth. But if you don't go through the 3-step process to find out what you need, then you'll never know, and you'll just feel like your old self. You will not feel like your youthful self. So get that consultation set up. They can have that 3-step plan ready for you after a quick visit. RejuveMeMedical.com, RejuveMeMedical.com.
We open. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Thinking about a new car for the new year? Come on down to Corvell Toyota in Opelousas where you never pay over MSRP. There's no markups, no gains. You can reserve yours today. Make the decision now. Come on down to Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe. both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
If home is where the heart is, a roof is a shield. That's why for over 25 years, South Louisiana always turns to Garcia Roofing and Sheet Metal. For more information, visit garciadidmyroof.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Tuesday's AFR presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Bama, Georgia, we're recapping the national championship game, and Sean Salisbury joins us. 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yeah, you got the tiny boy. Looking at some of the bass jumping out back here. We're on the lakes here at Jake's house.
That's
man.
probably the one bad thing about doing the show from here is I go out to get some more coffee, and I see the bass are out there. I see the fish jumping. Makes me want to go do it remotely remote. Out there trying to put a pole.
Now that would be the ultimate chill show.
That would.
If we could set up the camera and the mics out there.
I can open this window in the hard
Can
line
we get a line to the
internet.
water? Can we get a line to the water from here?
Look, I can put a line in that water from here without question.
Oh, my God, dude. That would be so good. Survived 623 say, dang it, I missed Coach Mulkey. Well, look, it'll be on our
You can actually rewind the video here.
Yeah, you could. Exactly. So that is something you can always do here, too. Yeah. Because of the live stream, you could just go back to earlier in the show and go check it out if you want. And then, obviously, everything will be up on demand on the Off the Bench and OTB OT channels. I think I'm about to have a so everybody's quarantined this week in my house. Obviously, we're not going to school or anything. I'll be hanging out with the kids all day. It appears that it might be time for the talk with my daughter, as she is very into Lion King, apparently, right now. They're watching it this morning. I don't think she's really seen it, and she is very concerned about the death of Mufasa.
Oh,
yeah. One of the most heartbreaking scenes ever, right? You know, get up, move, Dad, move. So that's going to be fun, having to have that talk with her when I get home later.
You know, there's other talks that are coming up that are going to be more difficult than this one, T. So just appreciate this isn't the most difficult one, and just
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair. All right, hour 3, Nick Underhill kicking it off. Coming up next.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to
Accutemp VR. Look at us.
Look at us. Accutemp VR. It's actually, you know what? The temperature's great in here.
This is the first show that I think I've ever done for Guarantee where I've done short sleeves and not a hoodie.
Yeah, the temperature is absolutely wonderful in here, and I know that that's because you're in the Star Club membership over there at Accutemp, as am I. And if you're interested in joining the membership, it's a great way to save money over time, Jake, because basically they do checkups on your system for free, And so what it means is that you avoid any of these catastrophic issues down the road. And just look at the online reviews. I mean, they are unbelievable, y'all. Go to AccuTempBR.com.
Yeah, this is an AccuTemp home. They come and they service these units. So we can wear short sleeves if we want to. And look, if it need to be a little bit warmer in here, we can do it straight from our phone. Look, they just set you up for success. So many different ways, so many different features that you can have. Check them out online, AccuTempBR.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Over the years, I've tried a lot of great whiskeys, but one that keeps me coming back is Sazerac.
Powertrain warranty, and now 0% for 60 months on Ford F-150s. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Yo, Jake here from Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, reminding you they now have 8 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. And if you're looking for that COVID test for holiday travel, or you have a holiday event coming up, they're the place for you, as well as a flu shot. It's starting to creep up here during flu season, so if you need that shot, make sure you get that. They now have some available through December. You can find more information on their website, patientplusuc.com. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
I had to pack up all my things. I had to leave my home. And I never knew where I was going next. It felt like I never even had a say. But then you came along.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Ochsner Health.
$2681 offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning. It's 9 a.m. on Tuesday, January 11th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see clear skies with a high of 61. In case you missed hours 1 or 2 of the show, you can now catch that up at the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. Still to come on OTB, Nick Underhill of New Orleans Football joins the show next to talk Saints. You can follow today's show on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN, or watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. OTB, OT, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios, starts now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo. Weekly New Orleans Saints updates with Nick Underhill on OTB are brought to you by former LSU Tiger and attorney Chris Perrette.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back. OTB. Shout out our guy KP Chris Perrette for sponsoring this segment. And shout out to our guy Nick Underhill, who runs NewOrleans.football. And I talk about it every week. It's not just lip service. There's a reason why we love talking Nick so much, and I believe that it is because he is as locked in and has as clear of a vision as anyone with this New Orleans Saints franchise. And so if you care at all, New Orleans Football is the site you need to go sign up for. I know that sign-ups apparently were popping off after the season ended. Nobody understands the cap better, kind of how to navigate the future. So go ahead, New Orleans Football, go sign up today. Nick, what's up, man? How you feeling?
Hey, feeling good. And, yeah, if they sign up, 20% off with the code RELOAD when you check out. So
okay. There you go. So interesting, Nick. Why did you choose the code RELOAD? It feels like that fits into what the kind of goal of the Saints offseason will be.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just kind of, the theme of what the offseason is going to be. They just need to reload a little bit on offense. I don't feel like this team's very far off from getting to where they want to go. They just won 9 games. They started 57 different players, 4 different quarterbacks. Full offensive line was basically hurt at some point. So I think if they go out, they get a quarterback, and that sounds like you don't want to just like gotta pass out. I mean, it's a massive task finding a quarterback. But I think what we just saw with this team is that they're good enough on defense that if they can retain the players on that side of the ball, offensively, you don't have to reach, a scholar's level of offense to be back in the playoffs, to be back in the hunt. I think if they ran it back with the team they just had and just had better health, if you ran a different scenario, you probably aren't going to be as unlucky as they were this year. Running it back exactly the same, they're a playoff team. Obviously, they aren't going to do that. So if you just reload a little bit on offense, you get your quarterback, you get a wide receiver or two. I think you probably approach the offseason not really knowing what Mike Thomas is and kind of, if he comes back, it's a bonus. If he doesn't, whatever. So build the team, get your wide receivers. Mike comes back on top of it, you're over the top. But, I don't think it's like a rebuild or anything like that. It's just, retooling is probably even a more accurate word than reload.
Yeah, and okay, so let's start there because one of the biggest foundational pieces of this all is what's up with Mike Thomas. Where does he stand currently? Obviously, he had the setback in November, had to have surgery again, but there so much was made of kind of the splintering of the relationship between Thomas and the organization and Peyton and C.D. Deuce and all that stuff. What do you where does Mike Thomas stand currently?
So, I mean, look, he's one of the hardest people in the world to report anything on. Mike doesn't talk to anybody. The people around Mike know not to talk to anybody because, Mike's someone that values trust and loyalty very much. It's paramount to having any relationship with him. So there aren't a lot of leaks. There aren't a lot of information on him. And you're kind of reading the tea leaves a little bit. And you're watching things and you're deciphering things. And you look at his Twitter, you kind of see what he's tweeting. He tweeted "Who Dat" during the last game, so I mean that felt like a positive sign. There hasn't been a lot of acknowledgement of the season since some of the stuff happened, some of the stories leaked on him. So I mean the fact that he seems to be at least in there with his teammates, I think is a good thing. That he's paying attention and cheering them on. So I took that as a positive, but. I mean, look, if we just spin this out and we kind of look at the situation and what could happen, the scenario where the Saints get rid of him, the only way that would make sense right now is if they view him as a spreading cancer that nothing can be done about, and if he's on this team, it impacts him negatively, and there's no coming back from it. I don't know that I get the feel that the situation's quite at that point. So if it's not there, even if there is a rift or something where at some point, this has an expiration date, it would be mutually beneficial to both sides to have one season together where they get through it and they both use the situation for their own personal goals. For Mike, I think he needs to show that he's healthy to have a market. And for the Saints to be willing to trade him, I think he would, that market has to be there. If they trade him now, they aren't getting anything for him, and they're losing a ton of money. So I think at least one season would make sense. Obviously, the best case scenario is everything. You know, you have the mutual understanding. You move forward. Bygones are bygones, and you know, he plays out the contract, and you have a fruitful existence. But as it stands right now, unless there is, just a complete barrier, there's no healing. Him coming back and playing it is the thing that makes sense for everybody.
One of the positives that I can take from the team that we just saw in Atlanta last week was, yes, you didn't make the postseason, Nick, but that's a team that's still locked in. They are still a tight group, certainly defensively. Like, to end the season like that on a high note, I do think that can translate to more success in the next season if they do the things that you're talking about, receiver, quarterback, whatever it might be. But defensively, and you had an elite defense. We've talked about that all season long. At least you know that side of the football with C.D. Deuce, with Davidson linebacker, Cam, the way he finished the season. Davenport, obviously there's a decision to be made there. But the season that he had, I mean, you could point to a lot of defensive guys that they're still in the prime of their career, and you can build off that defensive loan. So to finish the season like they did, even though you didn't make it, it felt like that unit still had something to play for, saw that kind of pride and passion at the end of the season.
Yeah, look, I think you feel great about where they're at going into the offseason. It's easy to build your offense when you know that they're going to play the way they're playing. And I think they'll be even better going forward. I mean, Marcus Williams is a big issue. I mean, they got to figure out what they're going to do with him. Are they going to pay him? I think it would make a lot of sense to find a way to keep him. And, you sign him to an extension, you can get him for a lower cap number than what he was just on because he was playing on the franchise tag. But, beyond that, Davenport, it's tough to project any health for him. You'll see how that goes. But Peyton Turner, if he comes back, and I'm sure he will, and I'm sure he's not going to miss 11 or 12 games or whatever it was next season, that's a huge piece coming back. You get a defensive tackle maybe to pair with Onyemata, and I think that defense is right where it needs to be. Adebo will probably be better next season, and he just had a great year. And, like you mentioned, the togetherness, the tight group, I mean, there's a very strong culture just around this team in general. And, we've talked about this before. There were a million times where a lesser together team probably would have punted and quit on the season. At some point during that 5-game losing streak, if you got, one of those teams, one of the signs that things happen in their locker room, I'm not going to use the foul language, but it says, bad teams sit around and complain about their coaches. Good teams don't. This isn't a team that's getting in groups and having those complaining sessions about leadership or making excuses. They're trying to find ways through it. So, the culture is there, and I think that's a huge thing. Like, it's not something that you can replicate very well either. I mean, when they were a 7-9 team, like, they didn't have that. And a lot of teams can get good players, they can get talented coaches, but if that doesn't come together to build that culture to where you can succeed and get through tough times, it's all for naught. And that huge building block is there. They just need to find ways to just sprinkle some guys on top of it on offense. And I think there's a lot of reasons to come out of this season extremely positive about the direction of the franchise post Breeze. And I think this year obviously they didn't get to the playoffs. Playoffs would have been validating, but I think the season's validating the idea that they can succeed without the icon, the legend, the whole identity of the franchise for the last 15 years. And I think that's as important as anything psychologically. Front office, coaches, players, everybody to know that okay, like, this can't work without Drew around.
Well, it's kind of interesting because what did the Patriots go year one post Tom last year? They didn't make the playoffs, right? But did they even finish with a winning record? I'm trying to remember. I don't think so, right? Yeah, they really struggled. So you're right. This season was absolutely validating to go 9-8 in the context, and it gives you hope. As we said on Monday, this was an organizational success, like top to bottom that organization. So you're not that far off. One of the key members that helped to affect that turnaround, where you go from losing 5 in a row to then finishing winning 4 of 5, was Cam Jordan. Nick, I mean, that man came on at the end of the year. He ends up with one of the best seasons of his entire career. What can you say? And do you have any idea what led to the sudden turnaround for Cam Jordan? I mean, all of a sudden he finished off with his hair on fire.
I'm going to be off a percentage point here, probably one way or another. But yeah, I recently, in one of the stories on New Orleans Football, I went through and just looked at how he was blocked every single play of the season and broke that down. Games with Davenport, games without Davenport, and games without Davenport, he was getting double teamed on like 40-some% of his pass rushing snaps. When Davenport came back, that number dropped down to 33%. And I think it's just as simple as that. Like, he was just getting better looks, more advantageous looks, and it just created better opportunities for him. And, you know, just like something like running a stunt, you know, you get a quality guy like Davenport doing that, he's probably more likely to draw more attention and more disruption and get Cam off on a you know, a better assignment. Or, you know, Anyamata comes back, same thing. He's drawing a little more attention. And I think it just becomes easier and more advantageous when people are looking around trying to figure out what's going on. You kick Davenport inside and rush him next to Cam. There's a great opportunity for him off the edge. So I think it's just little things like that. And when he was the only guy out there, it was a little bit tougher for him. And it wasn't like he was invisible when early in the season when Davenport and Anyamata weren't playing. Like, there were pressures. He was around the quarterback. It was just that little bit of finishing. And, you know, I think when you get those better looks and you aren't having a tight end chip you before he goes out on his route or whatever, that's that little bit of difference, that half second that, you know, gives you that opportunity to get to the quarterback and you know, putting that pressure into a sack and change the conversation about yourself. But yeah, I think, you know, him as a guy on a good defensive line, you know, I think obviously we decide he can succeed. You know, I don't know if he's the cannonball, wrecking ball type player that Davenport is now. Like, Cam used to be that, you know, at the beginning of his career, but I think he's still at that, you know, very, very good level. And, you know, he gets a little bit of help, and that's the difference, and it takes him back up to elite. But that's not even unique to him. Like, look at Brady in 2019 in New England when he had a bad offense, nobody to throw to, wide receivers nobody's ever heard about. It looked like he was on the decline. You put him in Tampa Bay, good players around him. Now this guy that, you know, has elite level traits that, you know, is later in his career now needs that little bit of help to get back to flourishing in that elite level setting. And that's where he's at. So I think Cam's kind of at the same point in his career. He's obviously extremely talented. He knows how to win. He has all the technique. And, you know, physically he just needs a little bit of help around him, the right structure to be fully blossomed. And we saw that a little bit later in the season.
All right, Nick, I do want to ask you about the draft because you mentioned it, receiver, quarterback, and we kind of know where some of the holes are. And certainly when you look at the defense, you can look at some of the assets that they've used. They've used, obviously, a lot of picks on defensive guys. You look at Zach Bond, you look at Pete Warner, you look at Turner. So the defensive side of the football looks like it is set up for success. Talking about the offense, where do you think they go in the first round? This is a very interesting quarterback draft class. You don't have that one unanimous, this is going to be the first quarterback taken. There's a couple of good players. I don't know if there's a generational type player at the quarterback position. So do you look elsewhere or do you strictly look at quarterback?
I think you start at quarterback. You know, right now, at least us having this conversation without them trading for somebody, signing for somebody, that's you know, obviously number one. And I still think it should be high up on the board depending on what they do at quarterback. Like if they bring, let's say they bring Jameis back and it's a one-year deal or something like that, which would probably make sense for everybody. You know, I think Jameis coming back on a shorter-term deal, if he plays like he did last year with better players around him, succeed, I think he's able to go out into the market a year from now and command a lot more money because, you know, it's just 2 years of success and, you know, better structure. I think he plays even better. So I think quarterback's still up there. If you can get somebody in the pipeline, yeah, for sure. You know, but after that, you could go really anywhere. You know, wide receivers, obviously somewhere that needs to be really high up on the chart. You know, they could draft another tight end. I don't know if Troutman's, you know, succeeded to the point where you aren't looking at adding additional people at that position. Left tackle, you know, that could be a area that's paramount for them to address if Tron Armstead leaves this offseason. And, you know, I do think that there's going to be an effort to try to retain him. But, you know, I think there's probably a number that the Saints are willing to go to. And, you know, it goes beyond there. It goes beyond there. And you know, I don't know that you can, you know, go crazy trying to keep him either. He's a great player, but, you know, at his age, where he's at in his career, the injury history, you got to be cautious about it. And I think that's kind of how they'll approach it. So if he goes left tackles in these, you know, a lot of people have been talking about guard and they need to replace one of these guys. I don't know if that's a feasible option at this point. I mean, they have so much invested in that position between Pete and Ruiz that, just pulling one out and replace them. I don't know. I don't know if I see that yet. But, yeah, offensively, they can go every direction. And even on defense, you could justify an early pick on safety if Marcus Williams takes off and, finds a better deal somewhere else. But, yeah, all offseason, it's going to have to start a quarterback until they sign Jameis or trade for somebody or do something else. And even then, it's you got to have a long-term plan. And they've tried to, obviously, over the last, going back to Teddy Bridgewater, every even before that, Derek Grayson, they've been trying to get that backup plan in place. And I think it's just smart to always have somebody kind of coming through the pipeline and developing. Obviously we saw this year the fallout of injuries, and then even if you get a guy around and, let's say you draft someone second round and you develop them, maybe you trade them for a first round or a few years down the line. So it's just always a good asset to kind of have in the pipeline.
Nick Underhill, NewOrleans.football is the site. It is going to be a hugely impactful offseason. Again, I would point to the Patriots. Look at all the moves they made. It's paid immediate dividends. The Saints will look to do the same, and we'll be visiting with Nick throughout the offseason as we kind of try to figure it all out as we go along. At least now, Nick, we can all turn our attention fully and wholly towards home team, as we are just 17 days away from the grand premiere. January 28th, 2022.
Hey, I'm a little more excited about Scream on Thursday night, but yeah, home team.
Ooh,
for sure.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know if this new Scream's doing anything for me.
Come on, man. It's like the OG. Everybody's involved. They hit reset on it.
It's got potential.
If Drew Barrymore comes back from the dead and makes an appearance, it'll just be the ultimate.
It's definitely got
Spoiler
potential.
alert.
That was the first rated R movie that I think I may have
me too.
ever seen, and I remember crying and admitting to my mother that I had watched a rated R movie.
Definitely didn't do that on my end, but
she was like, I don't know, just go pray about it or something. I don't know, dude. Nick, hey, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, Nick Underhill, NewOrleans.football is the site. Go sign up.
Look at big movie guy Danny in the chat. The new Scream looks horrible. You don't know the old Scream, Daniel.
Bro, I kind of agree with Danny though, and I do know the old
Scream.
Scream. I love the old
our
Scream.
nostalgia will allow us to probably enjoy it. Like if you don't know the old one, get out of here, Danny.
The thing is, it's such a crapshoot with that kind of stuff, right? Because it can be executed so well where it works, right? Like I would say Spider-Man No Way Home, it absolutely works. But then there's like a lazier version of that movie where they just kind of expect the bare fact that you have some of these nostalgic tie-ins to carry the movie. Like it has to be well executed. We'll see. I don't think it looks good, but I am absolutely willing to give it a chance. I am still perplexed, and I know this is probably like COVID-related. Why release this movie in the middle of January?
Yes, terrible release date. And I've seen the old Scream, and it just looks horrible.
Okay, sure you have, Danny.
I have. I've seen so many movies from that era.
Was that Mario?
Hello, Sydney. My favorite part.
That was actually really good, T-Bob.
The part that freaked me out as a kid was Matthew Lillard when he's like, and they stab himself, and he's like, my parents are gonna be so mad at me. That really haunted me as a kid. That was crazy.
Yeah, he did. That was actually really good by him. Maybe his best. I mean, not that the Scooby Doo movies weren't cinematic.
What are you talking about, man?
But
zoinks.
Summer Catcher, not exactly the peak.
Freddie Prinze Jr.
Well, he was in that too.
Yeah,
though.
and then he was like his best friend, right?
He's like, you're like a 6'9" catcher. Like, what is that? Just does not look right there. But
Matthew Lillard had a moment.
Yeah, releasing movies though right now, like okay, like why? I don't know why Matrix was released, but it's like some of it's on HBO Max, but it's in theaters. I don't know. That's why Top Gun keeps getting pushed back. I mean, it's supposed to be out for a year already. It's not even coming out till May because they're like, no, we're gonna make sure that the box office is completely back before we roll that out there.
Yeah, John Solo's forever right too. He says the Scream movies aren't supposed to be good movies. That's probably actually fair because it's funny. I mean, it's definitely a comedy. Like at the end of the day, I think it's a horror comedy. I would say horror comedy, but as a kid, it was straight horror. I was terrified of that first movie.
Suspense.
As a kid.
The first one
I was
not
horrified.
horror, but suspense for sure.
How many times? Yeah, like Noogie says in Miller, like, bro, I think you really hurt me.
I think you really hurt me.
Bleeding out of his mouth. How many times have you been in the shower and that shower curtain's drawn and you just know when you open that thing up, Ghostface is about to be on the other side?
I think it's more of Psycho, but yes, I mean.
Yeah, Psycho plays as well. Just
yeah.
any killer that scares you. Tom Graney, we are in Jake's study. This is the COVID TB for Omicron, as we're both positive right now. But, hey, at least we get to do the show together, and it's super chill. Look, now let's do some OTB mailbag when we get back. Go ahead and put your questions in the chat if you're watching on youtube.com/1045ESPN, and we'll answer them next here on Off the Bench.
OTB, OT.
You know, Freddie Prinze Jr. is a Star Wars guy.
Not
a lot of people know that. He's a voice of Kanan Jarrus in Rebels and Kanan's a Beast.
I knew that. By the way, Summer Catch, not awful. Not awful. Neither is All-Star Toyota.
Yeah, neither is All-Star Toyota. Thank you. I, too, was looking for that. All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. If you want a winter catch, head over there to All-Star Toyota and snag you one of them 2022s, man. Or maybe you end up going with a Toyota certified used vehicle where you still get that warranty coverage. And then we're always talking about this, Jake. Let's say you're going to Disney or something for Mardi Gras. Road trip. Why put those miles on your car, okay? Don't.
Yep.
Rent from All-Star Toyota. It's cheaper than your per-day rental pricing, and it can fulfill all your family's needs.
That actually feels like something you might be doing.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Renting one to go to Disney. I did it for my trip to Houston. You can do it as well. Don't put miles on your vehicle. Go ahead and get what you need over at All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, reminding you they now have 8 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. And if you're looking for that COVID test for holiday travel or you have a holiday event coming up, they're the place for you, as well as a flu shot. It's starting to creep up here during flu season, so if you need that shot, make sure you get that. They now have some available through December. You can find more information on their website, patientplusuc.com. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast office.
Tuesday edition of Game Time presented by Bet Rivers, live from Mike Anderson's on Lee, just off of Nicholson, the original Mike Anderson, 6 to 8 p.m. It's Game Time presented by Bet Rivers on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB, OT, with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Jim Selmer, I guess OTB mailbag question. How many homes do you have, T-Bob? The one.
No.
Oh, again, you talking about in La Familia? Yeah, they're my, the Cannon. The Cannon's got a couple spots, right? He's got a camp down in Cutoff for sure. That's been in the family for many, many years, and then he actually had a lake house till he'd been, which he sold to my mom. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Still
if you have another place that you have all access to,
that is true.
I mean, it's kind of yours.
It is true.
As well,
yeah.
Can't have money.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I guess I have 3 homes, not to brag that, Jim.
I'm glad not to have 2 homes anymore. It took me a long time to sell mine up in the Port City.
Okay, so when you were playing, did you constantly have 2? Like, how
yeah,
did that work?
I had a and when I first got into the NFL, I had a home in Baton Rouge and then one in San Diego. And the one in Baton Rouge, people knew I wasn't living there and took advantage of that. We'll leave it at that. What? And so that's originally why I moved from Baton Rouge back to Shreveport. It's because my parents could kind of watch my house in Shreveport because they could – that's where they live, so they could drive by, check on it, make sure no shenanigans.
Okay, are we talking robbery shenanigans or partying shenanigans?
No, robbery. In a nice neighborhood in Baton Rouge, yes. But they knew I wasn't there. They knew it was my home, and they knew what they were doing. So that's originally why I moved back to the Port City, and so we used to keep an off-season home in Shreveport and San Diego, but we pretty much stayed in San Diego the whole time.
And now we're holding it down in the study, which does smell of rich mahogany and leather, as many of you have asked. All right now let's go ahead and dive in to some OTB mailbag.
Special delivery! I have this special delivery for off the bench. And look, it is marked most urgent.
We'll be writing to you.
The internet.
What the is the internet?
Craig Granger, #OTB mailbag. What's the worst football field y'all played on?
The worst.
I mean, bro, old Tiger Stadium was pretty crappy.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
I'm talking about like the stadium by the end of the season would be just like sand patches.
Green sand?
Yeah, just sand everywhere, dude.
Oh, the worst one, though. I feel like there's one that we could point to that would be worse. Than
okay, probably.
The Capital One you played on.
Yes, the Capital One Mud Bowl was awful.
That looked just miserable watching that game.
And it had just torn like that guy from Miami's ACL like a couple days ago. Yeah, that would have been one.
On the next level, certainly Oakland. It was the baseball field. Miami, the same situation. Playing on a baseball field, it was weird. It was like rocks. You'd get all skin up. You'd try to wear different cleats because you're playing in dirt. Like,
how do you
it's
get
like you're in the
tackled on
NFL and you're playing on a baseball field.
It seems absurd now.
Like
it seems really crazy now that it would ever be like that.
It was the worst. I mean, the footing was terrible. Like I said, it hurt when you fell into the dirt. And Wembley was like it was a nice field, but the grass wasn't made for American football.
Too thick?
And
or
so
no? What do you mean?
It would fly everywhere. Like the cleats are different, and I guess like maybe the torque or whatever. The field kind of tore up pretty quick.
Whoa, weird. Yeah, I thought Wembley would have been like the nicest grass ever.
It was nice,
maybe.
but it felt like it wasn't made for football.
#OTB mailbag. Did Texas 8-4 cancel the order for rings and cups when Bama lost? It is true. We just love taking pleasure in Texas A&M misery. I do love the fact that now their Alabama win doesn't even mean as much because whatever. Sure they beat an Alabama team, but they did nothing with it, and then Alabama didn't go on to do anything special either.
Yeah, you can't put on a cup. You can't have a painting in your office. You can't do any of those things because now it's just a normal victory. They got you to 8 wins.
Scott Dice, #OTB mailbag. What's your favorite horror movie of all time?
American Psycho, would that be considered horror?
Yeah.
I mean,
Again, another one that I just watched like during the Halloween season and seeing it again as an adult. That is a horror comedy. Like it is darkly hilarious.
Oh yeah, I mean yeah. Christian
it-
Bale, fantastic in that movie.
I feel like it was more of a thriller.
I mean, yeah, but I mean it had some. I mean, oof. If you're just talking about like old school horror, then Friday the 13th more than Freddy and more than Michael Myers was definitely more the way I lean. Like Freddy, like I don't know, man. That's
Nightmare
one
on
of them,
Elm
you're
Street.
inviting things into your home and your mind.
Well, it is the ultimate. I mean, if somebody like Freddy actually did exist, it's an awful feeling because you just can't win.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to sleep. You will die quicker from not sleeping than you would anything else, right? Eating or drinking even. And if you go to sleep, he has all the power. So, yeah, I actually think, okay, for me, I'll give it top 3. Nightmare on Elm Street. I love It Follows, which I think is excellent as well from like 2018. And then
what about like some old school The Ring?
Growing up meant a lot
Grudge
to me.
was the other one?
Yeah, growing up meant a lot to me. I don't think I would have any desire to watch it now. Not from a scared standpoint. I just don't know if it's going to do it for me.
When Homegirl starts bear crawling with her hair over her face, like back in the day.
No, I mean, I remember it was built up so much in my mind that I was like with like some guys and girls and trying to be cool when we were watching. I was secretly terrified we were at the theater, and then I'll never forget one girl behind us in the row behind us, and one of the jump scares fell out of her chair and she was having a seizure and hyperventilating, and they literally had to shut down the movie and call the fire trucks and stuff. So at that point, I'm like, this is the scariest movie I've ever seen. I don't know how scary I think it is. Last one, I would say the original Alien. I think that is a horror movie, and it's a great sci-fi horror movie, so that would be my top 3. Hashtag go to mailbag. Does Jake ever sit in his chair with a black cloak on and act like a Sith Lord? This does kind of look like
look again.
This looks like Darth Vader's chair that he spins around in.
So nobody ever really sits in these chairs. Obviously, like they're designed, they're more for just like the style and the look up. Now you can't sit in them; they're comfortable. But when we were setting up last night, Katie's like, nobody will enjoy a chair like this more than T-Bob.
Yes.
So we have to take advantage of it. That's why we put him in here.
Do it. Strike him down and join me.
Hashtag OTB mailbag. Does this show actually count since you aren't freezing? That's a great question, Nookie.
I don't really know because I feel very comfortable.
I feel so
right
incredible
now.
in here.
I can tell you that.
Hashtag OTB mailbag. What's your favorite MCU movie/series? Just started watching Hawkeye, and I really like it.
Movie, Thor Ragnarok. If you're asking me series, that's tough. I really did like Hawkeye, but I feel like Loki might
Loki
still
series
be
is
the
hard to beat,
answer,
Bo.
Yeah.
Loki
I think
series
we actually
is so
agree on
well
both
done.
those, right? Thor Ragnarok and Loki.
Thor Ragnarok's always been my number one.
I mean,
I
last
would
Spider-Man's
say Spider-Man No Way Home is
pretty good.
Top 5, I think. Yeah, I mean, I think I would go with Thor Ragnarok probably still as my number one.
Yeah.
But that's interesting because, I mean, Thor Dark World's not really
it's bad.
any good. Yeah, it's awful.
It's like bad.
And as far as series, Loki. I mean, it was so good seeing Owen Wilson back.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Owen Wilson. Hashtag OTB mailbag. Favorite sports movie?
This could change. I could probably, if you ask me 7 times, 7 different answers. There's a couple. Like growing up the program, I always felt like football movie-wise, Major League's hard to beat though. Like Jake Taylor, like it's one of the reasons I wanted to be called Jake and not Jacob was because of Jake Taylor. He's like when there's only one thing left to do, and also when they're in the nice restaurant, Charlie Sheen's like he would take him outside, kick the out of him.
Yeah, no, it's a movie that just has legendary quotes after legendary quotes. For me, it probably, growing up, I feel like I watch less sports movies now, but growing up, I think the big 3 for me would have been Sandlot. Obviously, was just like on repeat. Freaking love Sandlot.
That's a good one.
Remember the Titans. I really love. Like I from that growing up, there's such a big impact on me, really, even football wise. And as cheesy as it is, dude, I like Rudy. I like Sean Astin.
I don't like Rudy.
I like Sean Astin, dude.
I don't like Rudy.
He's Mikey in the Goonies. He's Rudy.
I like
he's
him.
Sam Gamgee.
I like him. He was all sides.
Wow.
There's a lot of stretching the truth of how that played out, which is Hollywood. I get it, but
How do you think I got inspired to lead the revolution on January 9th, 2012, and tell Coach Miles that if
That's true.
if they don't
Probably
play
Rudy.
Jarrett Lee, that we're not playing.
That's very true.
That's what
so
I did at
another
halftime.
reason not to like Rudy. Another reason. I'm going Little Giants over most too.
Man, I haven't
Not
seen
gonna
Little
lie to
Giants
you.
in a long time.
Wildcats is great too. Have you ever seen Wildcats? It's really good.
I do think that
Ducks,
Little
yeah.
Big League. So yeah.
Cinderella Man.
Okay. What'd you say, Jake? Or what'd you say, Danny?
Cinderella Man. Yes. One of the few times I have shed tears in a movie theater. Cinderella Man.
Yeah, I don't know that I actually ever saw it. I saw $1 Million Baby.
You need to go watch Cinderella Man today. You're stuck at home. I promise you that you will shed some tears.
I mean,
Being a
also
dad,
though,
I promise.
boxing movies, you're just
Raging Bull.
The stories are so easy to get behind.
Yeah, Jake LaMotta, like another strong Jake.
I mean, what about the Fighter, which it might be? Was it an
Yes,
MMA
go.
movie? What's the one with head body? It's Donnie. It's Christian Bale, and he's all like skinny and crazy.
Yeah,
I don't
Irish
know.
Mickey Ward.
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg, yeah.
There you go. I mean, so whatever. The boxing movie is always great. Okay, let's see if we got any more one more mailbag question here to close it out. As I'm scrolling now, people are just
Trent
mentioning.
inside the chat. Kingpin. Kingpin's great. Kingpin is great. You would love it. Your movie blind spots are so bad, but you would love it.
Well, Kingpin, I just remember made me really uncomfortable as a child seeing it on like Comedy Central and watching them cut the guy's hand off by sticking him in the ball feedback. Yeah, that gave me like an irrational fear of getting my hand cut off as the
He
bowling
bounced
alley.
back.
Hashtag go to be mailbag. LSU's depleted defense greater than Georgia's overrated defense. No, I don't think that's true. But again, was very impressive what LSU managed to do to Alabama this year.
And Arkansas, and A&M, and UL Monroe.
Yeah. Let's see. T-Bob's favorite sports movies facing the Giants. Yes, followed by American Underdog. Can't wait to see American Underdog.
You better not.
My favorite sports movie will be Home Team. And we are just now 17 days away. At January 28th, Home Team will hit Netflix, and the world will never be the same. All right. That is hashtag go to be Omega. Is Cam Jordan the GOAT of Saints D? I'm saying no. You got Ricky Jackson.
Ricky Jackson. I mean, he's got a gold jacket. Until Cam gets that, but
it's Ricky Jackson.
He's in the top 5.
All right, that's mailbag. Coming up next,
Chill out, Mario.
We'll get Jake's NFL thoughts since we didn't get him. How's he reacting to the Bush League
yay.
Bolts breaking his heart once again? More off the bench next.
OTB, OT.
Go to centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org, 925-8552, 925-8552. Central Plumbing is so great, y'all. They've been at it for 50 years. And they had such humble beginnings, and now they've got this huge fleet where they can help everybody throughout the listening area. And it's not just residential. If you're a business or an office building and you need your plumbing needs met, they got the correct insurance paperwork and personnel to do so. But why do I point this out, this growth? Is because the only way you last 5 decades with all this stuff, with that kind of growth, is if your customers are consistently satisfied. Going to centralplumbing.org.
Hey, T-Bob, when we get done, I'm going to make you go to the faucet, turn the hot water on, and see how long it lasts. You know why?
What's
It's
that?
not going to run out. Because Central Plumbing
okay.
came in and put a tankless water heater into my home. So, look, I promise you, when you're getting the kids ready at night, washing clothes, doing the dishes, all that, you'll want that tankless from Central Plumbing, centralplumbing.org.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At All Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All Star Toyota today.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
I had to pack up all my things. I had to leave my home. And I never knew where I was going next. It felt like I never even had a say. But then you came along.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.
Join us for a Tuesday edition of Hunt and Hill. We'll recap the national title game, a little LSU basketball, and we'll look back at the Saints season that was. Hunt and Hill, noon to 2 weekdays on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
What up, y'all? Welcome back to Off the Bench, COVID TB edition. We are here in Jake's study, hanging out, looking at all the cool stuff. I love that sign that used to hang in the indoor, I believe, right? Or the weight room.
Somewhere, yeah.
Either way, I feel like I saw that time, like that sign countless
it was in the,
times.
Locker room.
It was in the locker room? Okay, countless times, and I was just like exhausted and sweaty.
There was one
diving across
that was
the line.
right ahead. It was hung up right where the scale was in the old locker room. I actually auctioned that one off and gave it to Hurricane Relief Fund a couple of months ago because that was huge. There was like no place for that one. But, that one was somewhere in the old locker room.
Yeah, here, I'll pick it up and show a picture of it, I guess, since we're talking about it.
That's not good. Oh, I thought you were about to pick
Oh, no, I'm not about to take it off the wall. Wait, so, Jake, while I am doing this, bro, how are you feeling after Sunday?
It's a laptop. The camera's on. It's just a laptop.
It's not on here?
No. It's not
okay,
on
whatever.
there,
Screw this in. Sorry, y'all. I can't show you. Jake, how are you feeling after this weekend, man? The Bush League Bolt's done. Well, I don't know. Did they Bush League you again? Because they kind of had no right in even making it to overtime. But
that's
they
the,
did.
That's the disaster of it. They had no right.
Yeah.
They had to score on fourth down, score the 2-point conversion. 87 fourth down conversions later, they did what they had to do, and it's like the Raiders are going to run this clock out. They're going to let it run out. They're okay playing for a tie. It doesn't change their fate. And then Brandon Staley, somebody we have just given praise to, made 2 decisions in the game to go for it on fourth down, your own 18, down 3. What are you doing?
Yeah,
and then
that was
the timeout.
Not even get close. Not even get close.
No, I mean,
okay. Wait. So full disclosure here. I had gone to bed by the timeout debacle. So what happened with the timeout? Because I saw a video of Eckler talking to someone after the game, and if you read his lips, it looks like Eckler says, "Were y'all going to kneel it?" or something, and the guy said, "Yeah," and you could just see Eckler like, "Oh my God!"
Well, after the game, I mean, they asked Derek Carr, like, "Did that change y'all's decision?" He's like, "Oh, absolutely, it did."
So they were just gonna run it out and be like, "Okay."
It looked like
that's
they were
the
going to
game.
run out, and the Chargers, I think, wanted a different personnel in there, but it looked like they were just going to line up and run the foot. They weren't going to kneel it, but they were going to run probably out of gun again and allow the clock to hit 0-0.
Yeah.
And both the teams make the postseason, but you call a timeout there, and then it's like Rich Bisaccia's like, "Oh, okay, you don't call a timeout?" Run the play, get the first down. They wait. They call a timeout. And Carlson's never missed in that building.
I know.
He has not ever missed in that building. Of course he's going to make it. So that's trying to be the smartest guy in the room, which sometimes with the analytics guys, for what we praise them for, this is the type of things that happen.
Yeah, that was man. Tough look for a guy that we love in Staley.
Yeah.
I do really like Brandon Sand. I love a lot of the answers and kind of his theories on football, but Chargers fans got disappointed. Like, they made so much of Anthony Lynn screwing up in big moments last year, and here you sit, and the song remains the same.
Man, it felt like for so long, like, are they not going to Bush League Bolt this? Are they going to do it? And then at the end, like, why did I even get my hopes up? But I can tell you this, and gosh, that play right there would have won the game. It was right on Mike Williams' hands.
Oh.
The thing I can tell you, though, man, we are set up for, I think, a decade plus of Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert just being elite.
Yeah.
Like, those two guys in their second year are so far ahead of any young quarterback. It's impressive to watch the mentality, and they do it a different way. Like Herbert does it with his arm strength, but he was getting the piss knocked out of him in this game. But he kept picking himself up. Obviously, Joe does it, putting the ball wherever he wants to. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch those guys, and I don't think anybody probably felt worse watching Sunday's game. If you're not part of the Chargers or Chargers fan, than the Miami Dolphins, knowing they took Tua Tagovailoa the pick ahead of where Justin Herbert was selected.
Yeah, it's how many fourth downs did the Chargers get?
I think it was either 5 of 6 or 6 of 7.
I mean, and it wasn't like 4th and 2. It was like 4th and 10,
oh, yeah.
4th and 18. Like, it was some of the craziest things I've ever seen in my entire life. What an absurd day. And then again, to be a Steelers fan watching that game
Of course the Steelers find a way to get into the postseason because of that. Look, if it wasn't for Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Shelvin and Thad, like, I really dislike the AFC North. Really dislike the Ravens. Y'all know what they've done to me. The Steelers have done it before to me.
True.
I cannot. It's no division finds a way to do get a little bit of chance, sliver in there, and then make the most of it.
Tomlin, man, it's crazy,
Gosh.
dude. It's insane.
He's a stud. He's
a
unbelievable,
stud.
man.
And Big Ben's really old. He might need a little massage. Maybe Big Ben should hit up the Relaxation Company at Pelican Point in Gonzales. Go to relaxationcompany.org. Look at the full list of services that they offer. Go treat yourself today. Go get that TRC massage, TRC massage on Instagram to check out all the deals. TheRelaxationCompany.org. Closing out the show next here on Off the Bench.
OTB, OT. We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Look, at All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, reminding you they now have 8 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. And if you're looking for that COVID test for holiday travel, or you have a holiday event coming up, they are the place for you, as well as a flu shot. It's starting to creep up here during flu season, so if you need that shot, make sure you get that. They now have some available through December. You can find more information on their website, patientplusuc.com. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
Bayou Ford has 0% for 60 months on new Ford F-150s. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty. And now 0% for 60 months on Ford F-150s. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Tune in to a Tuesday edition of Early Line as we recap the college football playoff final. Plus, we dive into the opening lines for the NFL playoffs, and Rafael Esparza joins the show from Las Vegas. Join us, 2 p.m., 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
As the been brought to you by Cold Curse Light, Vizzy Hard Tilts, Blue Moon, Light Sky, Citrus, Wheat. If you had to choose only one, what are you watching? Home Team or a new Lord of the Rings TV show? Home Team, obviously. Come on.
No, you're not.
Yeah, it goes without saying. It's Home Team.
No, you're not.
That's the bench. What non-football LSU sport would you most want to see win a championship?
I think men's basketball. They've never done it. They've had so many historic players, top 50 all-time NBA players, and not done it. So I think it'd be men's basketball.
I agree. As the bench, who do you want to win in the Super Bowl? Bengals.
Bengals for sure.
Easy money.
The Bengals probably, if they get eliminated, probably not diving deep into it.
As the bench, favorite king cake. Like me, boring nowadays. Regular.
Boring.
Regular.
Southern Made Donuts in North Louisiana. I don't know if the one here has it, but the one in North Louisiana, they have a donut king cake. It is literally life-changing. If you're up in the Port City, you know what I'm talking about. And if you're in the Port City area ever during Mardi Gras season, stop at Southern Made.
I do like, is it Dong Pho or whatever out of New Orleans? It's a bit controversial because it's not like a classic style. It's a bit of a different style, but I think it's delicious. All right, y'all, this is the first of what will be 4 COVID TBs live from the Man Cave. So thank you so much for hanging out with us today, and we will see y'all tomorrow.
It's a brand new year, and it's time to
We'll never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Ochsner Health.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.